What is up, and welcome to Ask DLF. We are done with week 2. 2 data points in the books for us in Dynasty Fantasy Football. The goal of the show here is to answer all of your fantasy football questions and to help you dominate your leagues. I'm Cal. You can find me on Twitter at Calvin and Hobby. He's Tyler. You can find him answering a million questions every single week and right here on the DLF channel on his Start Sit show on Sunday mornings. Tyler, how are you?
Well, I'm good. I mean, it was another great week of football. A lot of people tuned in to the Start Sit show. They saw me very, very off the rails at times, but that was okay. But yeah, no, I'm doing good. Football's great. It's always fun to have football.
Down below, we got Addison. He has been excited to talk about all things football. You can find him right here on the DLF YouTube channel. And when you subscribe and you like videos, it is important to Addison. He gets happy. He loves it. Like his life gets like a little bit closer to fulfillment, and eventually like he gets wings, and like it's like, yeah, the more you like and the more you subscribe, the better it is for Addison. Addison, how are you?
I'm great. We just passed 8,000 subscribers this morning.
Wow.
So
Congratulations.
I'm fantastic. On the
I'll
road to
take
10.
some percentage of the credit for that.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you to both of you and all of you in the chat.
That's right. We appreciate everybody who is here on the chat. If you're watching this show on anything other than YouTube, go find us on YouTube because the chat there is awesome. But hey, some people hold it down on Facebook. Make sure you're giving us some questions in there from Facebook. Give us a like in there on Facebook. You know, like make sure we have all of those going on there as well. I did hear rumors that StreamYard is going to let us start going to Instagram. Maybe we start being able to be found there too. But wherever you're finding us, you can ask us questions, but I don't think we can see it anywhere other than Facebook and YouTube for now. So just keep that in mind. We have a little bit of a read here, which I was not able to find, and I appreciate Addison maybe sending it over to me, which I'll let you know who we're sponsored by here very shortly, right after I get to this question from BJ. How do you feel about Heinz this week? Nahim Heinz, I assume that's who he is talking about. Maybe Heinz Ward. I don't know. After last week, this is a good reminder. Make sure you include first and last name, or at least an initial, because last week it got a little confusing. Are you playing Nahim Heinz over Jeff Wilson or David Montgomery? Tyler, what say you?
No. I don't know why you would. Heinz didn't do anything last week. So no.
Yeah,
I agree.
Unless there's some news that I'm missing about
There's not.
Jonathan Taylor, I think this is
There's not.
an easy question. So very good. And just so everybody knows that this episode is brought to you by tremendous work by Addison and by Underdog Fantasy, which is the easiest way to play fantasy sports. If you've never played Underdog before, this is the perfect time to try it out. You can sign up using the promo code DLF. And listen, if you are watching this right now and all you ever consume is the YouTube content, it's great. Like there's great YouTube content here, but it's not all there is that Dynasty League football has to offer. You can find a lot on DLF, and this is a great way to do it. You deposit a minimum of $10. You can start playing daily fantasy, pick them player props, season long. Like there's a lot of different things that you can do. The Best Ball Mania, I don't know if you can still get into that. Maybe you can, but go check that out. And when you sign up, if you use DLF, that code, the promo code, Underdog's going to fully match your deposit. Okay. And when you deposit a minimum of $10, you are going to get a free year DLF premium subscription. Absolutely worth it right there. That's a huge value. And if you already have a membership, guess what? You get an extra year added to your membership. So very much worth it. Underdog is a great way to play your fantasy football, your daily fantasy football. If you're paying attention to this, you are in the top upper echelon of people who should be doing that. Okay. Click on the description in the link below, or visit underdogfantasy.com and use the promo code DLF when you sign up. Okay. Moving on to G Money's question right here. In a 10 team, start 10, full PPR, tight end, 1.5 premium, super flex. He goes on. Would you trade Cup for 2023 first, projected top 6, and Chris Godwin? Should you do that trade as a rebuilder?
I mean, if you have to, yes. But
does it feel a little light?
Yeah. But if it's that or nothing, I'd take that over nothing.
Right. Especially as a rebuilder. Hopefully, if that pick is top 6, maybe hopefully it becomes top 3, top 4. Get you into the quarterback territory or something. Godwin will still give you some sort of production too, a little bit if you're somewhere in the middle. I'm not against it, but I don't love it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think, dude, Cooper Kupp's off to an amazing start. I love what Cooper Kupp's doing, obviously, and yeah, Chris Godwin is a little limited. Some limited options in that Tampa Bay Buccaneers receiving room right now, and I heard rumors they were bringing some vets in for a visit. I've been at baseball practice.
Cole Beasley signed.
Did he sign?
Signed.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley did sign there. Fantasy take on that, Tyler?
Who cares? Good enough for you?
He was productive last year, right? I feel like working
Not
with Tom
really.
Brady isn't bad.
Last
Yeah,
like
but he's-
3 years with Buffalo.
He's an old man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are
They
you
got
interested?
Rashad
Adam?
Perriman though.
Yeah.
And Cole Beasley. no.
Jalen Garden? Why isn't he getting a chance? Come on,
'Cause he
Garden.
sucks.
Garden.
No.
He sucks. That's why.
Let's see. Ed wants him to take that deal once Godwin is healthy and looking good. Flip him too. It's, I guess, the 10 team part of it for me that, like, because the quarterbacks are a little bit less valuable in the draft. So,
But the first are a little bit more
First,
valuable.
a little bit
because
more
you-
valuable. Yeah.
Yeah, because at least
Risk
then-
is a little lower.
Mhm.
Love Godwin being 27 next season, and the team just loosely held together at the moment. I feel like Tom Brady is going to find a way to right that ship. Flipping when he's playing well. Caleb says, first off, Tyler is the GOAT. Here we go.
I know.
Some GOAT talk.
But thank
Speaking
you.
of Tom Brady, I don't say it enough via Twitter DMs, but I appreciate him. And
I
his help.
literally do
a ton.
think that people believe that I have like a team of, this is what I've said recently a lot, that people think that I have like a team of people like helping me with, there's no team. Like any answer you get is from me directly. Believe me, I wish I could afford to have a team of people to help me, but I don't have anything like that. Nobody helps me really with any of the question rankings, any of that stuff.
Ooh,
Muted.
you're muted.
My bad. 10 team, 1 QB, Superflex next year. I'm the top contender in my league with stacked starters. Dude, both the leagues that I was most sure of, I was like a top contender. I'm 0-2 in. Literally, both of them.
That's the game, right?
Yeah.
That's how it
That's the
goes.
game. You had Kyle Pitts. You thought you were on course for one of the great tight end. You had a couple of other players. Maybe they didn't perform, and now you're off to Trey Lance was one of your quarterbacks. Maybe, Trey Lance. Maybe you had Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Kyle Pitts for your first 3 picks, and you thought that you drafted some veteran receivers late. It was going to be good, and now you have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Allen Robinson was the steal for you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Allen Robinson did score this week, so.
Should Caleb move an early 23 second for a guy like Cooks or Keenan? He also has Lockett and Hertz as his main bench guys.
I do want to say that Caleb is great. Caleb's been supporting me for a long time, so I do appreciate that. I always try to get a chance to thank people directly whenever I'm on my shows. But I would rather have Keenan. No, I mean Cooks this year just hasn't. Davis Mills looks like garbage. I mean, he looks terrible. In 2 games, he's been terrible in both of them. He really doesn't look so good. So I don't think that Cooks is going to give you anything more than wide receiver 20 to 25 production throughout the rest of the year. When Keenan is healthy, Keenan could be a wide receiver 1. He was great before he got injured. He looked great. He was the one, not Micah Williams. He was the one. He was the focal point of the offense. And I don't think this Justin Herbert injury is serious. I actually think it's more likely that Justin Herbert plays this week than Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen, the hamstring, should take 1 more week. I do think Justin Herbert plays this week, though. So I'm not worried about his rib injury. So yeah, I'd go for Keenan Allen. And if you have to, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I feel like of the 2 guys, it has to be for sure Keenan, who you would send a second for.
Well,
at
yeah,
this
absolutely. Yeah.
Cooks has not
been
second.
Cooks is not.
Yeah,
He's been
Cooks is a lot more
disappointing. He's been
replaceable.
disappointing, and I think he's gonna continue to be. I look at my ranking like in start sit of Cooks. I have him ranked at 18 for the week, and that feels just not like a good rank.
Well, they play Chicago, so
Yeah, but But the Packers really didn't throw the ball in Chicago at all. They weren't really able to. Even Rodgers wasn't really able to deliver the ball down the field. I mean, they eviscerated them in the running game. So it could be a good week to try Damien Pierce in your lineup. I could consider that. But Cooks is the only receiver there, so I'm going to play him. But wide receiver 18 seems a little aggressive. I just moved him down right as we were doing it to wide receiver 21. I think that's a little more appropriate.
Keenan's the guy for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, no question between the two. Keenan is the one who has upside.
I'd probably do it for either one. If push came to
shove. I don't think I would for Cooks anymore. I just see no. I mean, Addison talked about this too, right? Like you talked about this, Addison. You said, how often does like a player make a difference, right? I mean, one player make a difference. Now, Keenan Allen, okay, this is someone who could be a wide receiver one. That could make a difference. I don't think Brandon Cooks, if you're not a contender, if Brandon Cooks is going to decide whether you're a contender or not, you're probably not really that strong of a contender. Whereas Keenan Allen is someone who I think could make a difference. So I don't think I would even send it for Cooks. I think Cooks could get even worse as the year goes on. If any other receivers start to get any volume at all, then Cooks is just not going to be anything because Davis Mills looks really bad, like really bad, terrible. And Lovie Smith is incompetent, as we know, incompetent. He, as much as I rag on some of the other coaches, I can't believe he got a third chance to be a head coach. He was an incompetent head coach the entire time. And I think it's time for new coaches. No one's as bad as Nathaniel Hackett, though. Nobody. The fact that they won that game is really something.
Brandon Cooks has one more fantasy point than Ashton Doolin on the season.
Well, don't get me started on Paris Campbell. When we started it, we didn't even talk about Paris Campbell, but people wanted to start. Last week, I heard someone said they should start Paris Campbell over Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's what they wanted to do, and I begged them to listen to me and go with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I got a lot of apologies after the week of like, oh, I started Paris Campbell. You told me not to. I should have listened.
Oh, sorry. That was standard. It's 4 points. 4 points in PPR.
D. Magoon says, I just sent away a haul for Pitts. Should I be worried long term, or do you think he keeps his value and will actually return his tight end one price tag? Not competing this year. Bought him for the future.
Well, Arthur Smith, he said that he's all about winning games. He doesn't care about fantasy points. He wants to win games. Well, they haven't won any games. They have failed to win any games. Marcus Mariota looks like garbage, like he always does. Really bad. I mean, every pass is bad. He doesn't look like he's qualified to be an NFL backup quarterback, let alone a starter. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. I think they're going to get their act together. They're going to fire incompetent Smith and horrible Mariota, and they're going to replace them with anything is better than those two. So not worried. Kyle Pitts just hasn't even turned 22 yet. What he produced 1,000 yards on his age 20 to 21 season in the NFL. Like I don't see a concern here. He looks just fine. There's nothing wrong with him. What's wrong with him is that they're not throwing the ball to him. So I don't see that as a long-term issue.
As the person who made a video apologizing for being low on Kyle Pitts, what say you, Addison?
Oh, I've made like 7 videos on Kyle Pitts that I've gone back and forth. I've like ping-ponged on what I actually think.
Well, why can't you just stick to something instead of going back and forth?
Hey, you gotta be fluid. Don't get a take lock.
Well, because like
that was a joke coming from me. Nobody goes back and forth as much as I do.
I mean, I've gone through this whole ping pong thing with Kyle Pitts where like he was overvalued in rookie season, then he got undervalued during last summer for like redraft and stuff like that, which actually turned out like 1,000 yards. Was a top 6 tight end for redraft, which I thought was pretty fair. And then we inflated his value to be the 5th overall player off the board in one quarterback leagues. Like he was taking directly after Chase Jefferson and Jonathan Taylor. And I thought that was just egregious. And I think that's actually going to be that is going to catch up to where, and I said this all whole summer. I'm like, he could still be the for sure easy tight end 1 in Dynasty and still lose value. And I think that is what we're kind of seeing right now. People are getting really concerned about Pitts. I'd be curious to see what the haul is for Pitts as of right now, because him just in general, like what his trade price has been over the last like week or two has just been really, really interesting for me to see how people really do value Kyle Pitts right now in Dynasty because he got the targets in week 1, didn't really get targets last week. But Mariota has shown that he can sustain a fantasy asset. He did that with Drake London. So maybe Kyle Pitts, squeaky wheel, get something this week against the Rams if Jalen Ramsey's locking down, Drake London. No, that was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
last
that was
week.
last
They're
week.
playing somebody else this week.
And
I
that's
forget
who
who
was
it was.
locking down.
I was looking at it. Yeah.
I,
so that's,
I think it's time to put Desmond
play?
Ridder in. That's what I think it's time. I think it's time to put Desmond Ridder in. I mean, Marcus Mariota, Mr. Garbage Can, just doesn't cut it for me. I mean, he is so bad. I think Desmond Ridder should go in this week against the Seahawks. I think it's time.
That's who it is.
It's time.
Squeaky wheel, Seahawks.
I think Desmond Ridder should go in. I mean, it's 0-2. The season is already over at this point. Why not? It was over before it started, to be fair. But why not put Desmond Ridder in? Why stick with Marcus Mariota? You have 5 years of garbage from him. I mean, horrible. Why not go to Desmond Ridder? What do you have to lose?
Well, you ask
Nothing.
and I find here, Addison. Here are some Kyle Pitts trades from the Trade Finder. You tell me which side you would rather. Kyle Pitts and Kadarius Toney for George Kittle and 223 first.
Ugh.
10 teams.
If George, 10 team?
Mm-hmm.
If George Kittle was actually playing, I might take that side because of the two
Is it
firsts.
premium as well? That or super? What is it?
I don't think you can tell. You can't tell that from the trade.
tell.
Finder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go.
That
into the
depends
league
really
and
for
see.
me.
It's pretty close. I feel like that trade
Pretty
doesn't get done
close.
two weeks ago though.
No, it doesn't, but it's pretty close.
There's a lot that are coming. There's not a lot since this. That was even 2 days ago. There's just not a lot of information and data on Kyle Pitts trades. He's not getting moved a lot.
There was
yeah,
one
he's
I
not.
thought that was like Austin Eckler. I was actually just looking at it this morning, but it was like Austin Eckler and somebody else for Pitts and Etienne.
Eckler and Chubb for Pitts and Etienne. That's from a week ago today.
But I don't want Eckler. Eckler is
2 older running backs.
plummeting. I'll take Pitts and Etienne anyway.
Right.
Might depend. That is a 24 team league, so it's a little weird.
It's probably
let's see if anyone has Pitts.
Give us
Yeah, if
your
anybody
pick.
has a Pitts trade, yeah, let's see it for sure. So let's jump in. B. Salzberg says 12 team Superflex half PPR, no tight end premium, start 9. Send Kenny Pickett and 223 first. Let's see, and a 23 second, and get Burrow.
We have a problem. I mean, I warned people. Joe Burrow, there were some who wanted to take him over Lamar Jackson this offseason. I really hope you listened and didn't do that. Joe Burrow has not delivered. It has not been good. And he doesn't run. So if he doesn't run, it could be bad. I will say it is 2 games. He was excellent last year. Excellent. Maybe not for fantasy excellent, but until the end. But excellent for real life. He was great. He led them to the Super Bowl. I mean, you can't really complain. He played well all season. It was a great season. If this week is against the Jets, if it's not good, we're gonna have a big problem. Then it's like a 5-alarm fire. So he needs to come out and deliver this week. I've already lowered him in my dynasty rankings. I would rather have and even in a Superflex, I'd rather have guys like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson over him. I see now that it's not going to be every week that Joe Burrow is throwing for 350 yards. I don't think we're getting the 5,000 yard season from him. So,
according to Fantasy Pros, he is the QB 11 right now, so a little bit better than I was expecting when I first looked it up.
For fantasy? Yeah, because he played because the Steelers game was so long that he added, but he was terrible in that game.
Yeah, 5 turnovers. Not
terrible. Great. He turned it over 5. Yeah, he turned it over 5 times, lost an additional fumble, and was sacked 7 times.
Number 10 on that list is Joe Flacco.
Yeah. In this trade, I think
early season, maybe.
Would you still send 323 firsts for Burrow? Because I wouldn't.
No. Look, I made the comment.
I would not.
I made the comment and it was sort of mocked or whatever, but I was like, before the season, what's the difference between Burrow and David Carr? or Derek
Carr.
Carr.
David
That's
Carr
his name.
is
big difference
out of the
between
league
him
for a
and
long
David
time.
Carr. But him and Derek Carr, and they're pretty close in fantasy points right now.
I
but
would,
I just
well,
think there's-
youth is a lot of it. Youth and weapons, better weapons on the Bengals.
What's the
So
difference
that's-
between Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa? That's the big question we have right now. I mean,
Joe Burrow has a better arm. That's a lot of the difference.
It's between Joe Burrow and Carson Wentz. I mean, honestly, the number 4 QB overall right now.
That Joe Burrow has a brain between his ears.
Oh
Wow.
my! All right,
do that trade for Lamar, not.
So we
No,
don't like
to
this
answer
trade.
the question, I'll take. I think I'll take the package of
will
the
too.
223 first and the Pickett and 23 second because I feel like again, I think I would pay 323 first for Allen, Mahomes, Lamar,
Hertz?
Herbert, Chase, Jefferson, and that's it in Superflex. Nobody else. So this
Kyler
is-
Murray.
I think he's at
No.
2.5.
Kyler Murray has looked like dog shit. It's not good. It's not good enough. I don't want to hear about an excuse about no
Listen,
receivers.
What they have to do, Arizona just needs to do, is they just need to let him draw the plays in the dirt before they start every snap, and it would be so much better. By the time they got to the end and they were just schoolyard ball,
when there was no play, when there was no play, he was suddenly very good.
Yeah, I love that. They just do that all the time.
Yeah.
Let him do it. Let him do
yeah.
his-
It's easy
Whatever
for him
he
to
is.
draw it in the dirt too. He doesn't have to bend down all that much.
Oh my god. How tall are you, Addison?
5'10".
on that
Oh.
note.
Why did I think you were
Tyler
so short?
I don't know. I'm not a professional athlete though, so that's okay for me to be 5'10".
Tyler Reeves was offered Trey Lance for Mitch Trubisky and Mac Jones in Superflex. I don't know what to think and
Easy.
need your help. Will he even start next year after injury? I have Josh Allen and Tanny and Brissett to make it through.
Yes, take it.
I guess so.
Absolutely. For
have to.
Trubisky and Mac, yes, please.
I don't really want Mac Jones.
I think Trey Lance is if you're a rebuilding team, that's the guy to go get, right? I think it's
I would say so, yeah.
he's going to be at a discount. It just, I hate that it happened and we don't get to see it this year, but I think there's no reason to think they won't go into next season with him as a starter as long as he.
Well, what if
feels
Jimmy G wins the Super
fine.
Bowl? You think they're not going to try to retain him? Or
Where
do
did
you
he
think they
take
would?
them? He took them pretty far last year and it was replaced. So I think they showed them they would do that.
I guess so, but it would be very interesting if it happened again. What if they won the Super Bowl? I mean, wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be
They've been
crazy?
pretty
You'd send the
close.
Super Bowl winning quarterback out of town for a player, third-year player who's done nothing at all.
That's Nick Foles.
Yeah, so Carson Wentz though had done a lot more at that stage in his career than Trey Lance has played in 3 games. Carson Wentz had a borderline MVP season.
Yeah.
Let's
Trey
go to
Lance,
Eric's
that's easy.
question. We got a Sun God trade. Interesting.
I would
Well,
not recommend doing that.
Superflex. Amon-Ra, Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett for 24 first, 23 second. Mac Jones.
Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra. It's not even
You're
close.
getting 2 quarterbacks and Amon-Ra, and you don't even have to give up 23 first. Come
Yeah,
on.
Amon-Ra.
That is a horrible trade for the
I've
other
seen
person.
worse, but
Great job,
it's Amon-Ra.
Eric. Holy
It's Amon-Ra.
crap. That is nutty.
Amon-Ra's so good, man. Oh my
Someone
God.
thought they were cashing out.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Let's see. John Garrett's every year. I think we learn to just pay up for the elite tight ends. I agree with you. Cole Kmet and Albert O hype completely gone after 2 weeks.
Oh, really? If you paid up for Kyle Pitts or George Kittle, that's going how for you right now? I mean, it depends on who you pay up for.
Kelsey and
Like-
Andrews.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people were. I mean, I heard people putting Kyle Pitts at tight end 1 in redraft, and if
No,
you
that
paid
was
up for him and draft. I saw him drafted in the 2nd in
No, that
many
was stupid.
redraft leagues, and that hasn't worked out. So I would almost say sometimes if you miss it tight end, you can just get another one. Gerald Everett is on waivers.
I saw
Evan
a really good-
Ingram has been fine. He's been on waivers. There are
Tyler
many-
Higbee.
Tyler Higbee is on waivers. A lot of options. So I'd almost rather who you don't want to pick is George Kittle. He's done nothing. You have no idea when he's going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a really good breakdown of the Atlanta offense, and I just say I'm hopeful for Kyle Pitts going forward. So let's see. And either pay up for guys I know produce, or I see who is left. I do like those athletic youngsters for my bench too. Yeah, Zach Hertz was like kind of the other guy down low that maybe you could get, and he's the tight end 5 right now. Pat Freiermuth at 6. Gerald Everett at 4. Holy cow.
He was a good one too.
That guy. Let's see how everything shapes up. And you never know. Like we could get like we have 2 data points. We don't know what we don't know yet. Like some of these guys could have played the 2 best teams against tight ends in the league already. You know what I mean? It's just like there's just things we don't know at this point that it's gonna start getting more and more clear the further we go. I think you bet on talent and let the chips fall. Dustin Oz, evening, gents. Last week, I asked about what to do with Jeff Wilson on my bench. Happy to report the Mitchell owner gave me a 23-second for him. Ding, ding, ding. Good job, which is insane, but I'm not complaining.
Let's go.
Yeah. Anytime a backup running back gains value and you can get a second for him, I always say do it.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Henry is a legend and tells you that you should smash the like button. And whatever Henry does, you should also do because Henry, again, is a legend. Kazzy Cat. Kittle, Curtis Samuel, 23-second for Pickens, 23 first, and Albert O. What do you think?
The Pickens side.
Yep. Pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first especially.
It's got the first. It's got the young wide receiver.
Curtis Samuel, are we starting to buy a little bit after 2 weeks? I know we were hesitant.
He's currently slotted into my DraftKings lineup for this week.
Wide receiver
he's got 20 targets through 2 weeks.
It's tough because there's just no way that Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, and Curtis Samuel cannot all succeed with Carson Wentz. One of them, at least one of them, if not multiple, have to fail. So I'm gonna stick with the idea that it's probably gonna be the one that they paid a huge amount of money to, and also the other one that they drafted in the first round over the holdover.
I just think they're gonna have a team like that doesn't like. I don't think in general they want to give the ball to Antonio Gibson as much. Like I think they don't want to run as much as they want to be able to get the ball out of Carson. They want to trust Carson Wentz, which hasn't gone terribly for some reason. So I don't know. Like I like the way
what's going to happen when the pie is a lot smaller?
Is it going to be?
And that's what we need to see.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you're going to average 325 passing yards a game. That means Carson Wentz is throwing over like 5,300 yards.
I mean, we could just be witnessing Jameis Winston 2.0 right here, where he throws 2 or 3 picks a game, and in order to make up for that, he has to throw 2 or 3 more touchdowns than we expected him to. I mean, if you look at the target share breakdown from all of them, Curtis Samuel's basically doubled what McLaurin and Jahan Dotson have done. Dotson's only been good for fantasy because he's scored touchdowns.
Sure, but it's also his first 2 games.
Right. So I expect him to get,
he's been out there
to get better. And he has been playing a heck of a lot of snaps.
That's the concern for me, is that typically volume comes with time for a rookie. Volume increases over time. And if that volume increases, there just is no more. There is no more.
But it just seems like Curtis Samuel has the trust of Carson.
I also think that this team wanted to run the ball more. Then Brian Robinson disappeared. And they changed, whatever. He had his very unfortunate, and I still believe, 100%, and there's not going to really be a way to convince me otherwise, that Brian Robinson had won the starting job. Brian Robinson was the starter. He was the starter. He was the guy. He was going to be their starter. And I believe that Brian Robinson was going to be a part of a run-heavier attack. And because they lost him, they changed their entire plan. Because they don't want J.D. McKissick can't really run the ball up the middle, and they don't want Antonio Gibson to have a lot of carries. So they changed their whole plan and passed the ball more. When Brian Robinson comes back, I think you'll see that there's going to be more running. There's going to be more like what the Colts did with Carson Wentz down the stretch last year, hiding him from any big decisions or anything. And I do think that Curtis Samuel's the one who gets squeezed. But
I think we'll see, because right now, like Carson Wentz, again, like this is a new quarterback and he's going to have like different tendencies and different things he wants to do. And right now, Curtis Samuel through 2 weeks has led the team in targets both weeks.
But when it
And
comes
so
to
I think
Jahan
that
Dotson's
Hands-
dynasty
something.
value, I don't think Carson Wentz is this team's quarterback next year.
Yeah, probably not.
So
No.
I'm more excited for the first rounder who's looked good and will continue to progress. Curtis
Me
Samuel,
too.
I do think.
Me too, by the
actually,
way.
Curtis Samuel
Absolutely.
is someone I feel like is kind of interesting. Like he's still only 26. He's just kind of hanging around. I feel like he'll kind of hang around the NFL. Maybe have he'll be usable in some games here, and then I think he'll move on to another team when his contract is up. I think he has one more year after this one. He might move on to another team, sign another deal somewhere, be a decent weapon. I mean, he's someone you can kind of put in a pinch, or if there's an injury on Washington or in a great matchup. And it's not a bad player to have on your team. But for this trade, it's the 23 first side. I'm running away from George Kittle. It just seems like you get to a point where it's hard to say someone's injury. I don't like to say someone's injury prone, but it's every year. I mean, it's every year there's time miss, and it's like many different things. So it's like at some point you have to be like, maybe this player just can't stay healthy.
I'm going to summarize Dustin's question. He wants to trade for Pat Freiermuth, and he has this collection of wide receivers and wants us to see if we can come up with a trade. Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Rashad Bateman, Pickens, and Cooks. Having trouble getting into the top tight ends, the tight end premium league. What of this ammunition should he use to go after Pat Freiermuth, or should he?
I don't know. I mean, usually if you're contending, I would probably go over someone who has less dynasty value, but can produce. Like Zach Ertz.
Yeah, like a Zach Ertz, maybe.
Tyler Higbee.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd want to give up. I mean, Cooks, sure. But I don't know that I really want to give up anybody.
You got to add something kind
You
of
gotta add
significant
to
to
Cooks.
to get the Freiermuth, especially in a premium.
Premium, yeah.
I was wondering what you could get if you moved DJ Moore for Pat Freiermuth plus. What would the plus be?
People don't want DJ Moore.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of scared of right now, and the fact that Freiermuth has looked pretty good over the last couple of weeks. But I was curious about what that move could kind of be, or maybe Bateman for Freiermuth plus. I'd be interested to see what would come out of that. But I do agree, if you can't get into the upper echelon, go for somebody like Tyler Higbee, like Zach Ertz, like Gerald Everett. They're producing now, and they're going to be substantially cheaper for you.
I agree.
Gerald
Maybe even a
Everett's a good
Logan
one.
Thomas. What about a Logan Thomas? Somebody like that.
No, Logan
maybe
Thomas is not
lower
getting
end.
the snap usage. He's not really in the target pecking order. He
Evan
got a
Ingram?
touchdown. I'd rather have Evan Ingram over
I like
Logan
that.
Thomas. Logan Thomas, I don't
Mhm.
think you can trust. He just caught a touchdown this week, but I don't. He's the one. You don't want to talk about Curtis Samuel falling out of the target pecking order. I think Logan Thomas is even lower on the list. So if you have a low passing usage game, you have a game where they're ahead. I wouldn't want to trust Logan Thomas at all.
Ooh,
That's good stuff. Joel says Garrett Wilson is
No,
on his waivers.
All
I'm
of it.
assuming this is redraft.
all of it. Spend all of it. I think that you're getting someone who could be a wide receiver one in a few weeks. I really do. I would spend all of it.
Does
I
he
don't
have
think
the same-
all of it. I've already ranked Garrett Wilson ahead of Elijah Moore this week. I think it's time. Why not? Why not? Garrett Wilson is the superior prospect. He had superior draft capital. He's had more targets both of the first 2 weeks, more production both of the first 2 weeks. I don't care that he's on the Jets.
for week one.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're an elite alpha receiver, and that's exactly the profile that he had coming into the NFL. It doesn't matter what team you're on. So I would spend everything.
I don't think 30% is not getting it done.
It won't get it done.
I don't think you need to spend 100%, but I think you got to live somewhere in the high 70s to 80s.
I think someone's going to spend everything. If anyone's listening, if anyone else is listening to me, then they spent everything. I would spend everything. I think that this is it. This is your opportunity. This is picking up Justin Jefferson after week 3 in 2020.
Ooh,
This is it.
Ooh.
I would go for it. There's not in most redraft leagues, 16, 17 player rosters.
What if this is a league where you can't make $0 bets or bids?
That changes everything. But I actually won't play in that type of league. I so strongly dislike
But what if it is? Are you still in the
Well,
80s?
that changes everything. But then it would be way less. Be more
Still
like
80s, 70s?
Yeah, more in the 60s or 70s. That changes everything. But that literally changes everything always in Dynasty or redraft. That changes more so in redraft. In Dynasty, I'm still willing to go everything and just accept I'm not going to have any more claims. But in redraft, if you're playing in a redraft league with without $0 bids, I could not imagine myself playing in such a format because I think it's really, really bad. I think it's good to allow people to have $0 bids and then have open. For me, I prefer to have one waiver run in redraft and then open the rest of the week open. In Dynasty, I feel differently, but in redraft, I think that's the best. And then it's naturally if it's what I am okay with is that it's $1 bid required for the bidding part, but
and then free after that.
Then after it's free, and then it's just a free pickup. If you want to do it that way, I don't have an issue with that. But what I can't have is that it's always cost something to pick up a player in redraft. I think that's a terrible system. I don't like that system at all. Let people change their minds. You want to increase activity, right? You want people to be more active. So putting on restrictions that could make people less active doesn't sound like such a good idea to me.
Trogdor says, evening, 12 team, Superflex, Swift, or Amon-Ra and Garrett Wilson.
Amon-Ra and Garrett Wilson. Easily.
Yeah.
So crazy. So crazy. Yeah, I mean, yes.
This is not that crazy. This was close before the season started. That's me.
I love
Both of these receivers for Swift was close before the season started. Now it's not close.
You didn't hate Tua, did you?
No. Who said that I hated Tua?
Oh,
I never said that.
I'm going back.
I never said that. Never said
back
that.
and finding clips.
You can go and look for it, but I never said that. I never said that I hated Tua. I said he's just okay. And why don't people fill out the apology form then to me, where I said that even if no matter how good Tua was, that all of the offense would flow through Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, all of it. Everyone else would be useless, and they would get an unheard of target share, an unheard of share of yards, an unheard of share of everything because they're the only competent players on that entire team. Where's my apology? Where's my apology for that? I told people to draft, Hill and Waddle with confidence, and you'd be able to play both as low end ones. And, they were even better than that. People said that was crazy, but apparently not so crazy. I look at this week, 11 receptions each. It doesn't seem like there's any problem.
What an amazing game. Good Lord.
Amazing.
That was so much fun, dude.
Oh, it was a great game.
My Scott Fishbowl team is so happy.
I mean, Lamar Jackson had an elite performance.
Yes.
And lost.
Oh, my God. I know. Oh, so good.
Lamar Jackson, that check that the Ravens are going to have to deliver is going to be so large, and I'm going to love it. Because they really made a mistake. They should have just paid him. I don't know why they didn't do it. They built their whole team around him. Commit to him. What's the worst? They're going to regret it, I would say.
It has to be $500 million, like an actual $500 million.
It's going to be such a lot. It's such a big check.
It has to be.
Do the people want to know where I have Tua ranked in Dynasty? I can tell you. Sure. I have Tua at it's still not that high. I have him quarterback 11 in Dynasty.
But we got to QB1. All right. I
have him ahead of Justin Fields.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah,
I have him
at
video Lance. Tomorrow as a top 10 right now.
I can't get there.
Spock wants to know, should he trade, or he or she trade Travis Etienne for Kamara? Trying to compete 12 team Superflex, no PPR.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah.
I don't. Etienne to me is a big problem.
I'm not worried yet.
I'm glad to see we're not making excuses for him this week.
You're not worried yet? Well, no,
panic meter has risen, but I'm not worried.
Well, no, I mean, we want to talk about excuses. The reason why that the panic meter has become worse is that the usage became worse. It became worse. James Robinson had more snaps than week 1, more carries comparatively, more of everything, more. The split went more in James Robinson's favor. So it's not
He's
that
better.
it seems that way. It does seem that way. So James Robinson looked better in week 2 than he did in week 1. So of course there's more panic. Of course there's more panic because things have totally changed. You know, like
They were also
I think
up
there was reason to
24
panic
nothing.
last week.
They were also up 24.
We were making
last
excuses.
week, Etienne actually played more of the game than James Robinson. I mean, it was a 50-50 split. I mean, you could say that that you would think maybe it was Etienne's first ever NFL game. He could get more involved.
Sure, you can make
but that's not what happened. That's not what happened. So now the panic alarm is much greater. I think that that's perfectly reasonable. With Cam Akers, it's the other way around, right? It's the other way around. The panic after week 1 was severe, as it should have been. Now I'd say less so. Less so. He got more involved. That's what you want to see. He was getting more involved, where Travis Etienne is going the wrong direction. So I don't want to see the wrong direction. That's even worse. So you just have to adjust week to week with the panic on these kind of things. But yeah, this is the 5-alarm fire for Travis Etienne. It's no good.
I'm not there yet. I'm not.
Why not?
Well,
James Robinson is a better running back. Period. No, he is. If you think otherwise, you're not watching.
You're
not watching.
He had 24 carries for like mid 60 yards.
I understand
and had a
that.
longest run of 37.
I understand that.
So
I'm aware of
more.
that. Travis Etienne's 9 carries for 20 yards impressed you. He was good on
I'm
those.
just saying that they were both.
No, he wasn't
basically
so
the
good.
same. They
He
were
wasn't
both
so
the same.
good, and
He had more volume than what he did in week 1, and the Jags were actually winning the entire game easily.
It's great.
So
They
why
were
not just
winning,
throw the guy
and
who
they-
can just grind out the clock?
but
the
they were
entire time?
winning.
You don't got to play Etienne. You can play James Robinson.
Oh, I don't know. If Etienne if they trusted him more with these grinded out carries, if he were better, they would have given him those carries. But he's not
That's
better.
not what he is, though. James.
Well, I don't know. I
James-
mean, he just
Etienne said
hasn't
it
looked-
himself.
Well, the week
Well, that's-
before they were down double digits at halftime, and he only had 6
he didn't
touches
get
total
more
for the
involved
game.
in that game.
Again, that
So-
was also
that's
his
kind of a
first
problem
career
for
game
me.
of his career.
Again, more excuses.
There are
I'm
a lot of
not-
excuses. I mean, James Robinson, to me, I mean, we know he's good, right? I mean, in his first 2 seasons, he averaged 4.5 a carry on a putrid offense. And he had 80 catches in 28 games. That's not bad for 566 yards. That's good.
I think the adjustment here is that we've got a James Robinson who doesn't look hampered at all by his injury. Like
That's
looks
really
like
what
James
it is.
Robinson.
It's that James Robinson looked better in week 2 than he did in week 1.
Nobody expected to see that. I think, especially with our experiences with Cam Akers, but James Robinson
Cam
looks
Akers
like
looked better in week 2 than he did in week 1.
He
Also,
did. Absolutely. But I just think I didn't expect James Robinson to look like this. This early. And
I mean, this could be Chris Carson and Rashad Penny all over again. This could be Chris Carson. This could be Chris Carson and Rashad Penny all over again. Because Rashad Penny never won that job. Never. He never overtook Chris Carson.
He was always injured.
But
literally,
even when he was healthy, they never really considered going to Rashad Penny.
Because they're the same player.
Etienne
and
they aren't.
Robinson are completely different players. This is Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift. This is Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. This is...
I don't see DeAndre Swift anymore.
Only if Mark Ingram was a better pass catcher than Alvin Kamara.
James Robinson is not a zero.
Not a better pass catcher than Travis Etienne. Stop
He's
it.
trusted to do
He's
that.
not a zero in the passing game, though.
He's not a zero.
He's not like Chris
Neither is
Carson.
Leonard Fournette, but I mean,
I think James Robinson is better in the passing game than Leonard Fournette.
Sure, that's fine too. But we're talking about Travis Etienne. I feel like
I think I need to see. I need to see a little bit more. I mean, he really.
And that's fine. That's where I'm at too. I just want to see a little bit more. He's played 2 games in his entire career. He's less than a year, a little more than a year removed from a Liz Frank foot surgery, and we're not happy.
But James Robinson came back from the Achilles injury. The Achilles injury, which was 4 months later, and he looks just fine.
We saw Cam Akers do the exact same thing.
But Cam Akers didn't look just fine. See, there's a difference. Cam Akers came back and he looked terrible. He wasn't good, but James Robinson came back and he looks really good.
Again, he barely averaged over 1 yard per carry.
It's not all about how many yards. Cam Akers looked bad in the playoffs last year. It was nice he got the volume, but he looked bad. James Robinson looks good. He has burst. He doesn't look damaged. He doesn't look like
he looks damaged. I think he looks fine. I think
he looks just like he looked before.
And it's
he looks like the same player.
I think the people are on your side, Addison. I don't think
they are. That's not what I've heard. I've heard panic.
People.
I've heard panic. I think the people are on my side.
for comparing the two situations on Twitter and called too simple for doing so. But I think there is really a lot to look at with both these players because, one was in prime time. We got to see it. He barely played. It didn't look good. But like, you got to listen to the reports too. And I think they're like, you've got to see what they're like. The report from like what Doug Peterson had to say after the Jaguars' first game was, man, now I see what we can do with James Robinson. He wasn't talking about how much more he wants to get Travis Etienne involved. Like, he wasn't like, oh, now I see what Travis Etienne can do. Man, I can't wait. It was James Robinson. And, the talk about Cam Akers, and sounds like they want to mentally get him going and get him over the hurdle of, trusting his leg, trusting, all that stuff. I think there's just a lot that we got to, pay attention to with stuff like that. I don't think it's over for Etienne. Just getting back to this trade, I think you can get more than Kamara.
It's not over. Come on.
You cannot get more
for Kamara.
No. You cannot get more for Kamara than Kamara for Etienne. You're lucky if you don't have to pay Etienne plus. You can't get more than Kamara.
That is true. I'm taking Kamara pretty easily here.
I'll take Kamara.
I think a lot of people believe in him more than that, though. It just depends.
Those people are starting to lower in numbers.
Friends, should I trade Fournette for Debo?
Yes.
Yes.
Debo.
Always.
Debo is going to do better with Jimmy G in the lineup.
I think the Niners might do better with Jimmy G, at least for fantasy.
Trey Lance's rushing yards taken away are split among everyone else. So, yes, that's how it always works. When you take a rushing quarterback out and replace him with a pocket quarterback, it improves everyone else.
Except when he vultures a 1-yard touchdown from Jeff Wilson.
That was so good. That was so good. Kyle Shanahan is an elite troll.
Needs to replace Cole Kmet. Should I waiver for Ingram, Hurst, Conklin, or Logan Thomas? I say Ingram.
Well, if we're going this week, I have Hayden Hurst against the Jets at 12.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Conklin is not in consideration. When Uzama comes back, I think that's going to be too much split there. Logan Thomas, we talked about me not liking him. So Ingram would be the second choice. For me, like I said, if you're going over the whole season, I think I'd rather have Evan Ingram. But if you're going this week, I'll go for Hayden Hurst in the matchup against the Jets. I do think this is the get right week.
Chris Stanley made a trade Saturday, week 1. Seems like an overpay now, but at the time he liked it. Sent Naja Harris, DK, Garrett Wilson, Jahan Dotson, 23 seconds, 23 third for Justin Jefferson and Ken Walker.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, wow. You got destroyed here. I'd rather have Dotson over Walker. Or well, I'm not sure I'd rather, but they're basically equal to me.
I think after week 1, you liked this though, right? Like, no. I feel like you felt good.
I didn't feel
Jefferson
good.
Posted 1,000,000 points, and you felt.
I didn't feel good with. I wouldn't have felt good with Garrett Wilson's usage in week 1. It was already better than I thought it would be. I wouldn't have felt so good.
Yeah.
Now I feel really bad.
The biggest thing here, though, is Chris, keep doing it. Keep pushing. You just got to win more than half your trades. Like, don't.
I will say that Garrett Wilson's ceiling is Justin Jefferson. That's who he reminded me of. Someone who you didn't really think of as like an alpha 1 type because he wasn't Jamar Chase, but ends up actually being that. I mean, that's what Garrett Wilson's ceiling is.
The biggest takeaway here is that at one point, just a couple weeks ago, you had Najee, DK, Garrett Wilson, and Dotson. So you know what you're doing in Dynasty and continue to do that.
Yes.
That's a good point.
But there was no point where I ever would have made that trade.
Tyler Reeves wants to know our thoughts on Damien Pierce. I assume it's not Alex. Got offered CEH for Damien Pierce and a 23 second.
I'll take Pierce in the pick. I'd rather have Clyde if I had to choose between the two, but I'll take Pierce in the pick.
Agreed. The pick.
I don't really like Pierce. I don't really like Clyde. I don't really like Pierce. So I'll take the side with the pick.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the number 5 running back in PPR.
Clyde hasn't been bad, but
5
he still hasn't been all that great.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. He's like 4 points, 3.5 points better than Jonathan Taylor. That's it. It's worth it to take him number 1 overall. It's worth it.
It happened, everybody.
Yes.
Take Pierce.
CH is in tomorrow's video, by the way.
Nice.
Okay.
Frank says, what is Najee's trade value? Is he a buy with Pickett on the horizon?
No. Well, Naja Harris is terrifying to me, honestly.
I feel like this week was
so bad.
Good in a sense that, like,
what part of it was good?
We know he's dealing with some injuries. He got through it seemingly unscathed, and I think that's positive for going forward. Hopefully, he continues to, because look, we know he's talented.
Here's what's coming up. What's coming up. The Browns at the Browns. That one might not be so good. Running on the
Jets running backs looked okay. Looked good.
I mean, did they? I mean, I guess they Breece Hall had a couple of big carries, but
if Breece Hall and Michael Carter were one person, they would have had a really good day.
Yeah. I mean, they would have been 14 for 73 as one person.
But they caught a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, but that's a little different. And then the Jets are good. And then the Bills, Buccaneers, and Dolphins are coming up after that. So it's Bills and Buccaneers are very bad.
That's not
14 for 73 would be a season high for Najee. So.
Yeah.
I don't want him in Dynasty.
I'm so concerned because he's not that young. I mean, he's young, but he's not like.
So he's 25 next year.
I mean, would you rather have Naja Harris or Breece Hall, who's been struggling?
Breece Hall.
Yeah, I know. That's
I think
so
I'd rather
crazy,
have Breece
I'm
Hall
with
as
you.
well.
What about? It's the offensive line, man. I watched the Steelers every single freaking play, and it hurts my.
Naja, would you rather have Naja Harris or Amon-Ra?
Oh man.
The people demand that you take out. No,
Najee.
I'd still take Naja.
I think it's Najee.
It's very close,
but it's getting closer every week. The offensive line is so bad. Najee cannot get more than half a yard after the handoff without.
You want to know something crazy?
Into defenders.
I have Amon-Ra Dynasty wide receiver 9.
I don't think that's crazy.
Love it.
Thank you.
Tight end premium. Tight end premium Superflex. Naja Harris and Dak Prescott for Khalil Herbert and Mark Andrews.
Najee.
Dak.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
okay, here we go. Najee Harris and Rondell Moore or Saquon Barkley.
Najee Harris and Rondell Moore. Not that Rondell Moore matters.
Addison.
Saquon has a much higher upside. I'll give him that.
And how did Saquon look this week? How was this week? This week was not so good.
Volume.
And was very poor. Despite the fact that he was playing the Panthers, who are the Panthers don't scare me.
He had volume.
And was poor on that volume. Like
That's
he was
been
last
the name
year.
of the game for Najee this entire season.
Order 66, 12 team Superflex, tight end premium, start 10, trade Tua, and 23 first for Kyler and Sutton. Thanks again, Tyler, for the start sit show. Once again, nailed both of my start sits. Good job, Tyler.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, easy deal.
We're getting close here. I think we're getting close, but I think I'm still gonna go with Kyler. I don't like it. Go with Kyler.
Yep.
Kyler going to be a really good fantasy quarterback. He's
if
going
it
to
were Tua and a 23 first for Kyler alone, I would take Tua and the 23 first. But it's
that I can get on board with. But you got Sutton, so
Sutton is worth less than in Superflex time premium. Sutton's worth less than a 23 first, but not much less. He's worth less, but that's enough.
Wow, Brian Lee, 10 team Superflex, Happy PR acquired Lance for a single 23 second projected.
That's pretty good. I'll take that. It's a great move.
Absolutely.
Great move.
Gosh, who's doing that on the other side?
There are dumb people in every league, Cal.
Jeff Wilson or a 23 second.
23 second.
Curtis Samuel or a 23 second.
Second.
If I'm a contender, I'm not taking it. I'm letting this ride out and just seeing how this goes.
I'll probably just take it anyway.
If I'm a contender, I'm letting it play out. He's 26. If he was 29, fine. But I just feel like this could still turn into something there.
I can get on board.
Deluxe, 2 RB, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, full PPR league. I have Najee, Cook. Is that Dalvin, I guess? Dalvin. Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Antonio Gibson, Marquise Brown, and Garrett Wilson. What should I do? This is a tough question to answer here, Deluxe.
Win your league.
Yeah. I don't. What do you mean? What do you do?
Okay, let's see. If I'm looking at this roster, well, do you not need to?
I don't know how to answer what I think. Generally, like what I don't think we should. What do you do is so vague. Like I don't even know how to answer that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Like
I wish I knew how to help.
I would recommend with questions, be specific. Like ask like, what do you think I should do with player X? Like, I have player X. Would you consider selling? Like, the more specific you are, the better. This, I don't even know how to begin with what should I do.
Basically, your starting lineup is not very deep. You're only starting 5 players. So every single week, you're most likely starting Najee, Cook, Jefferson, AJ Brown, and then you're picking one of those other 3. So choose 2 of those 3. For me, it would be Gibson and Hollywood. Package them and get somebody better.
But also, it's early. Injuries happen. You don't want to get caught out. But bye weeks, we haven't gotten to that yet. Bye weeks are still coming up. So
take Najee and Hollywood and get
here. I'll get that
Swift.
super chat. But also, I would say moving Gibson while you still can is just generally a move. Is Christian Kirk a hold or a sell? I want to make a run next year, and I like what I saw from Lawrence in week 2. Depends. For me, I think Christian Kirk is a hold. Based on how I value him versus what I think he can get.
Right.
But
if you're getting a first,
I would take it. But I don't think you're getting a first in any league.
Hold.
I don't think you're getting it. You think you're getting a first in like any league? Because I really don't think you are.
Doubt it. No, I doubt it.
I don't think you are.
If a contender is trying to get a wide receiver, they're not going for Christian Kirk.
Here's what I would do.
Right.
Here would be my recommendation. If you could send Christian Kirk like straight across for, I mean, he's probably worth more than this, but if you can send Christian Kirk straight across for like Jameson Williams, I still would. Jameson Williams has actual upside. Christian Kirk.
I'd take Christian Kirk over Jameson Williams.
I think that's going to look very foolish.
That says more about how I feel about Jameson Williams, because I agree with
I
you.
like Jameson Williams.
This
is a good time to. But speaking of things,
this
is a good time to buy Jameson Williams. By the way, just as a side note, because nothing has changed in terms of how I believe in him. But now that Amon-Ra has been doing really well, I think people are going to say, well, he can't possibly do anything. He won't be good. We heard this all the time, right? This is such a common mistake that people make about very, elite level athletes, top 10 picks, whatever, 11 he was. Well, I would not write him off just because Amon-Ra is having a great year. So Jameson Williams is someone he's forgotten about. He's not scoring points. This is an opportunity. I actually don't think you'd even have to pay Christian Kirk. I think you might be able to get Jameson Williams plus for Christian Kirk. You're in a rebuild, I would definitely do it.
Depending on what the plus is, I'm not against it, but I didn't like Jameson Williams coming in, and
we just will have to disagree.
All right, I'm going to ask you rapid fire Christian Kirk Christian Kirk or Devonta Smith.
I'll actually take Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith. His usage last night was better. I'll take Devonta Smith,
Christian
the superior talent.
I'll take Christian Kirk.
Devonta Smith is a superior talent to Christian Kirk, for sure.
Christian Kirk or Treylon Burks?
Treylon Burks. Yeah, Treylon Burks, for sure.
Christian Kirk or George Pickens?
I have him back-to-back. I'll take George Pickens.
Christian Kirk or Mike Williams?
Actually, it goes Pickens, Kirk, Williams. I have Williams one spot lower. I'll take Kirk.
Also take Kirk.
Christian Kirk or... Could you do Christian Kirk maybe in a second and get Elijah Moore right now?
Yes, and I would.
Love it.
Do that. That's my recommendation right there. But honestly, I think hanging on to Christian Kirk is viable.
I'm fine hanging on to him. I mean, again, I think I have him above consensus at this stage. I think most people
do. If you think you do, apparently I do, because I wanted him over a couple players than you did.
Yeah.
So
I think most people would still rather have Mike Williams over Christian Kirk, for example.
I think so too.
Yeah.
T. Murphy here. Burke's involvement in the offense increased from week 1 to week 2. Is he worth a late 23 first from a strong contender?
No, he's not. No.
You guys are killing me. We're sitting at 99. Somebody invite a friend. There we go. 100.
There we go.
100 say that.
No. As you say that.
Invite your friends. Let's get this.
Treylon Burks was better in this week, but Tennessee got obliterated. Yeah. Kyle Phillips fumbled a punt for the second straight week.
Oh.
And they
did get obliterated. It was by the team that went into Los Angeles and did the same thing to the defending Super Bowl champ.
I hear you, but there were some serious issues here. The Tennessee offense didn't move against the Giants. It's not like they scored 40 points last week. They didn't move against the Giants. And I'm sorry, the Giants might be 2-0, but I don't think the Giants defense are world beaters. and they didn't move last week. It was better than this week, but it still wasn't good.
You need to sell
don't
all
know.
your Tannehill shares in Superflex right now.
Tannehill, it's way too
for
late.
anything.
It's too late.
For anything. Tyler, let me ask you as a side note that kind of is related to this. So you and I have been in lockstep this entire summer, basically about how we view the 23 class versus this year's class, especially with the wide receivers and, rookie drafts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Our line for where we would take a 23 first over someone in this class was basically set at everybody after Breece Hall.
Yeah.
That's changed for me.
Yeah.
Has it changed for you? Are you adding in my two? So my two are London and Wilson. Have you added those two in and would take both those guys over a late 23 first?
How sure are you?
How sure?
In one QB, I'd take them for. In one QB, I'd take them for sure.
Superflex, yeah.
In Superflex, if you're very sure, I'm fine taking them. Both of them. They're very similarly valued to me.
They've moved across the threshold for me now.
Yeah.
I just
Everyone
feel more
else is
confident.
still below it.
Yes. Burks included. So now the line is Burks and Walker down.
I mean, yeah. Burks isn't even my next wide receiver on the list.
So I always said I would want London, but I agree that it's very possible Wilson has crossed that threshold. He looks great.
I have London higher than Wilson.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I just feel like London. I feel like we're talking about Wilson more because London was close. London hasn't actually moved that much in my rankings, whereas Wilson moved way down throughout the training camp when he wasn't doing anything. And now he's moving way back up because he is doing something. Because we know why. Because Joe Flacco isn't at quarterback. That's actually why. Because the ball, you heard what Garrett Wilson said. The ball is delivered better from Joe Flacco than it is from Zach Wilson. That's what he said. The ball comes in harder. It comes in better. It comes in more accurately. You can go back and watch the interview.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Aaron, 1984. Everett is on the waiver wire where I have Alberto and Komet. How much fab should I bid, gents? I'm assuming this is redraft.
This is redraft. Bid what you need to bid. If you need him, then maybe 20%. If you're 0-2, this is it, right? This is 15. It. If you're 0-2, it's going 0-3 is not good. So bid what you need to bid.
15%. Did you say 12, Cal?
I said 20.
I didn't give a number. 15 sounds right. I don't think I'd.
This week is against Jacksonville. I have Everett at tight end 6.
Interesting.
I have Alberto at 20 and Komet at 22.
Everett, especially if Keenan sits again. Yeah.
If Keenan sits again, I might have Everett inside my top 5.
Go to 20.
He's been consistent. I think that's let's see. Jacksonville so far middle of the pack against tight ends.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about that.
2 games. I just wanted.
And one of them was against the incompetent Colts.
Yeah.
Okay. Vic Z Sutton value in PPR Dynasty as a contender. Would you give up a 23 first to get Sutton?
No.
Nope.
No, I'm not a big. I'm still not a big fan of Sutton. He looked good once Jerry Jeudy went out. He started producing, like it always is. This was actually his best game that he ever played with Jerry Jeudy. It's the only one where he's ever been good, ever. And of course, it took Jerry Jeudy missing the game for him, most of it, to actually be good.
Sean says 12 teams Superflex mid to early first or CMC.
First.
Give me McCaffrey. He looks awesome. Give me McCaffrey. I don't care.
Does he?
Yes.
That offense looks terrible.
It does. Baker's not good.
Baker's not it.
McCaffrey he does look good, but I think 2019 McCaffrey is gone. I don't think we're ever getting that guy's not coming back. I think we're getting 2018 McCaffrey as his ceiling, which is great. But if that's going to be his ceiling, and at his age, he's no longer worth what he was.
Right. First.
Let's see. Jaden Sharp going into the season. I thought I had a competitive team, but not 0-2, but now 0-2 because of loss of Dak and Lance. Currently have Wentz and Matt Ryan and Zach Wilson. Should I try to compete or start selling off? So is this the point? Lose Dak, lose Lance. Do you start saying like, okay, let me see if I can get ahead?
Unfortunately, I think if you're in a Superflex league and if this is a team you just drafted, Dak and Lance were probably your first 2 picks. I think that means it's over.
Don't tell
Generally
Lance,
in a Superflex league, if you lose two quarterbacks, if you lose two quarterbacks and quarterbacks are like it's early quarterbacks like this, that usually means it's over. Usually you can't come back from that. There's just no way to reallocate the resources in order to come back. So yeah, to me, I would say it's over. I would just hang on to Dak and Lance, hold them. And, I would say, yeah, that's all you can do.
I think there's a difference between understanding that the season's over and then entering some sort of a rebuild or a retool. Because if your team's young and you went for all that, your
Wentz and Matt Ryan don't belong on a team who's giving up.
No, yeah. So that's what I was going to get to.
Especially not Wentz.
Was basically what I wanted. What I'm trying to say is that if you have Dak and Lance and you have other good pieces, like you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, you have Garrett Wilson, you have DeAndre Swift, you don't need to sell all that youth off. I would say this would be a great opportunity to just shed age. I'd be fine selling Carson Wentz, even though he's your QB1 right now.
Well, yeah, if I'm in a rebuild, I'm never looking to
if
sell
you had
Amon-Ra.
Jarvis Landry because you needed a producing veteran, or Adam Thielen because you had a producing veteran, or James Conner. Those are the guys to start selling off. Don't just sell everybody just because, you're entering a rebuild or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
because your team is still going to be competitive next year whenever Dak and Lance come back.
You don't want to sell the youngest of the young, but like if you have
shed the age.
Yeah, you don't want to sell the youngest of the, like I said, the youngest of the young, like the really young players. But if you have I think of who's like a good example of someone who's like middle, like Stephon Diggs would probably.
Matt Ryan looks done.
Would go.
Like
Matt Ryan is done. Matt Ryan is finished.
Might retire at
finished.
halftime next.
Finished.
Game.
But yeah, someone like Stephon Diggs or Christian McCaffrey, they're not like old, but like they would be players who would for me be Russell Wilson in a super flex would be out the door. Although it's hard to sell him now. Those are some players. Even Naja Harris to me, really. Like if I'm giving up on the season, he's not a player I would want to hold.
Alec, how much is Waller worth in a tight end premium? 1.5, start 2 tight ends. Superflex Dynasty, a lot.
Start 2 tight ends? Multiple firsts? Wow. I mean, no, but like it start 2 tight ends. I mean, he's top. He's worth more than a first.
The toughest part about leagues like this is
I don't like start 2 tight ends.
Alec might be the only person aware of how much he's worth. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
I think most people who are crazy enough to play and start 2 tight ends know that.
I'm not a format analyst who do not understand how much value tight ends are. It's a league just like this, and they just don't understand.
Yeah,
I can't get value for trades on. It's also start 3 quarterbacks, and they don't value quarterbacks either. So
also like we will get to all of the questions.
Yes,
I promise.
Let's try to see
if it takes us 4 hours.
Go through.
I will answer them over 4 hours. I will say what does not help is asking them 5 times. That will not help us get to them faster. That's only going to slow Cal down in picking through the questions. Like we will get to it. We go in order. We just go from the first question to the last.
Yep. SU 1 QB, Happy PR, my Zeke, Keenan Allen, Matt Stafford versus Justin Herbert, and a 23 first.
So 1 QB. The 23 first, then.
It's still the 23 first.
Yeah.
That might be worth more than the whole side on
it's worth it's worth almost as much or not more as the whole other side. So 23 first, yeah.
Yes.
Patty wants to know, PPR, should I receive Hunt and Jamal Williams for Schultz and Edmonds?
Ooh. Well, I mean, Edmonds and Schultz lost some value this week. If you're desperate,
Dynasty or redraft?
I guess it's got to be Dynasty. If it's redraft, it's Hunt easily because we don't know when Schultz is coming back.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's Dynasty,
it's still Schultz and Edmonds.
Edmonds really didn't play this week. I think it might be Hunt. It's close.
I think because I'm well, here's what I'm looking for. I have no idea, but what I'm looking for is it because they were down? Like, did Mostert play more because it was more? They basically were just passing.
I actually know the answer to that. I know the answer to that. Edmonds didn't even play from the beginning, but Mostert was the starter from the beginning. Mostert was the man from the start. No, like that was the answer. That's the answer to your question. Mostert started the game. Mostert was the lead back from the beginning. He was the guy who they trusted from the start. He was, in on the first drive. He took he took all 3 carries on the first drive. So this was a big problem.
Paul Braun rebuilding 12 teams. Superflex. Give Hertz and Garrett Wilson. Get Herbert. If not Wilson, Hertz plus to equal Herbert.
Hertz and
Wilson.
It's Hertz and Wilson.
Brutal. I'm going to take Herbert still.
Ooh.
I love Herbert. I really do, but this is Hertz and Wilson.
It's Hertz and Wilson.
I can't do it.
Can't
do it. If I'm going to trade Justin Herbert, I need to not have to think about it, and I had to think about it.
Oh, you're saying you would like the Herbert side then?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
If I think about it, like if I have to think about trading Justin Herbert, then it's Justin Herbert. I don't want to trade.
I didn't really think about it.
Oh, I did. I'll take
Jalen Hurts is the man. He's it.
I know. I want the Hertz and Wilson side.
I'm taking Hertz and Wilson.
Justin, I've never been considered the top echelon of anything. Now I feel special.
Oh, there you go.
That's sweet.
Ray Gamer, Bengals defense versus Jets, Steelers defense versus Browns on Thursday, or Cowboys defense versus Giants on Monday. I have Bengals and Steelers on my team. Which one should I drop? If you think
I would drop the Cowboys.
So yeah, he has Bengals and Jets, so he's wondering if you would take the Cowboys over either one of them.
I'm worried about the Bengals secondary right now.
I'll take their
defense.
Yeah, I'll take the Bengals defense anyway, though.
Steelers versus Jacoby Brissett. That seems interesting.
That game is
but
suck.
I don't know.
Whatever
though.
you
want to have a team that's going to have a bunch of turnovers.
Yeah.
I think the Jets are more likely to have turnovers and mistakes than the Browns, who are just going to run constantly. That's not going to lead to a lot of points for the defense. Yeah.
It's Scuba Steve here. Is Tyler Higbee or Logan Thomas worth spending all your fab on if you need a tight end, a 12-team non-tight end premium? No.
I mean, this is probably Dynasty then, actually, because if this is redraft, I can't imagine that this is a question. You wouldn't spend much on either. But if it's Dynasty, I'm willing to spend a significant amount of fab on Tyler Higbee. He really shouldn't be on waivers for Dynasty.
I'm assuming it's probably a league where the benches are maybe it's like 18.
A little thin, 20. Yeah. I'm fine spending a significant amount of fab on him, though. He was actually, again, he's been like one of the most involved players in their offense.
Right.
Surprisingly. Yeah, he
said it was
Dynasty. So
yeah,
I'm gonna.
How many people in your roster?
Yeah, that does depend. But for Logan Thomas, I'm not so interested. I mean, I'd maybe spend 5 to 10, maybe a little more, 10, 15% if I needed him in a dynasty. At Higbee, I would in a dynasty I could go for 30 to 35%. Because that's what you're going to need to get him. He's going to go for at least 20 or 25 if he's still on waivers.
20-man
20 players rostered. Yeah, Higbee really shouldn't be on waivers then, even in that format.
I was going to say, yeah, I think I don't know if I would go all of it. Maybe I would.
All of it, I think, is for a tight end who's not a difference maker. I think all of it is a lot.
But I might go to 50, though.
50?
Just get half of it, yeah.
I think with a 20-man roster, there's going to be someone better who comes
in a league where they're on waivers. I just feel like you probably don't have to spend that much.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think I would go 20 or 25 on Tyler Higbee if I needed him because I'd love to play him this week.
I was going to say he's immediately going into half of people's rosters
but see, Logan Thomas to me is worth almost nothing because I don't want to play him.
No, not him. Yeah,
Tyler Higbee. I'm fine spending 20 to 25%.
Higbee could be starting for half of people's.
Well, Higbee is playing against Arizona. That sounds good. I'd like to play him this week.
What's up, Samson? Appreciate you tuning in. TJ Keen 96. I'm in a weird league where it's 10 teams, but 3 Superflex.
Ooh, I've heard of this.
Deshaun Watson and a 23 first, and Ayuk for Justin Herbert and a third.
Okay.
Oh, man. I don't think I do it.
Yeah, I guess not.
I don't think I do.
Quarterbacks are worth so much in this format. Worth more than regular Superflex.
Right. But you're going from Watson to Herbert. I mean, you're waiting on Watson, but to add a 23 first in IU.
In a 10-team league as well, where the bottom is taken off of that.
Right. I think it's still Deshaun Watson in a 23 first. I think that's just the smarter dynasty move. You're gonna have to wait. But if that 23 first is yours, that probably means that if you're not playing Watson, your team might not be doing all that well. So maybe it's a higher first. And Ayuk is worth more than a third for sure. So if you're trying to do Watson in a first for Herbert, I'm taking Watson in this one, I think.
Tyler will be right back. In the meantime, Caden the Colts fan just got offered Adam Swift Davis for Cup and Javante. Interesting trade.
See, I'm so used to just sitting here and I have to think about it.
I'm assuming
has
like
an
Gabe
immediate
Davis?
answer. I think so. I can't think of any other Davis that it would be. Adam Swift Davis for Cup and Javante.
Cup over Adams.
This is Dynasty, I hope. Oh no. I will take the Adams side, I think. I'm taking Swift over Javante.
Yeah.
And I think Adams and Davis is enough to where Adams he's not going to match the Cooper Kupp ceiling like Cooper Kupp does every week, it seems like, but he has that ability. And Gabe Davis is going to be a solid player that you can throw in as your wide receiver 2, 3 flex, whatever your starting lineup is. So I'm going to take the Adam Swift and Davis side.
I'm not even a huge Gabe Davis fan, but I think he is enough to shift it onto that side for me too. Ed confirming 0 chance Tyler has a team. I've gotten plenty of DMs. Can tell you for sure if it wasn't him, it's brutal honesty, wouldn't be easily replicated. That's true. You'd have to get like Simon Cowell or Gordon Ramsay, I think.
Oh, dude, Gordon Ramsay, that's where it's at.
Let's see. Should we be relieved if we roster Cam Akers and J-Rob? Released? I don't know what that.
I think it should be relieved, right? I'm assuming this was an autocorrect.
We won't release you. Like, you can be relieved because it was a good week too. And I mean, Akers, I think, showed while the fantasy points weren't there, he probably was on your bench, should have been on your bench. And I think he showed that the Rams are committed to him. Yeah. And he's still young. We'll get there.
Exactly.
Superflex, tight end premium, Dak and Terry McLaurin versus Stafford and Mark Andrews.
I'm going to take Stafford and Mark Andrews, mainly for the difference between Andrews and McLaurin.
Same here. Can you pull that
I got it.
Chat up?
Yep.
T. Murphy, appreciate the super chat. Thanks for doing that. 12 team Superflex, tight end premium, Rashad Bateman's value in terms of 23 draft picks.
Okay. So is it a hot take to say that he also is not worth a 23 first?
Ooh, yeah, I think it is.
So basically my thought process to get there was I would take Drake London and Garrett Wilson over Rashad Bateman. And so I said both those guys are worth more than a late 23 first at this point. And while I don't think Bateman is down in the trade, like he's not with Treylon Burks and everybody like that, he's a little bit higher. I still don't know if I had a 23 first, would I send it for Rashad Bateman? I don't think I would. Yeah, I don't think I would. So, do you think that's a hot take, Tyler, to say that Bateman isn't worth a 23 first?
No.
I don't think you would. Gosh, you would. Okay, you're not going to trade a 23 first for him. You would. I think on the other side, you would take.
I think you want,
but you're not going to take a second.
No,
of course not.
No,
of course not.
I think you want a first. He's one of those players that you will want the first. You'll never sell for what people are actually buying for, and you'll never buy for what people want. It's a very weird, kind of like gray area for that a lot of players find themselves in, throughout the year. So I wouldn't even buy for 2 seconds. Like it would have to be like I'd send a 23 first for Bateman and something fun.
As good as he was this past week, we still have he's got 12 targets on the year.
I know.
Yeah.
Scary.
If you take away those two touchdowns,
right,
it's not very good. And I hate that argument of if you take away his best plays because how good he is. But it happened twice where he had 2 50-plus yard touchdowns, and that's basically been his entire fantasy output. I don't think he's worth the 23 first.
Agreed.
3.
Hopkins or Curtis Samuel?
I'll still take Hopkins. Yes. Don't overthink it, Scuba Steve. Don't.
You're right.
It.
It's Hopkins. But...
Holy.
Ooh, okay,
shit.
We got a super chat. Let's go ahead and grab that. Nope.
We both tried to click on it.
Caleb Duarte. Thanks for doing this, guys. I have Jefferson. Hey, thank you for the super chat, Caleb. I appreciate that.
Holy.
That's awesome. I have look. If you think Addison likes subscriptions and likes, I mean,
apparently
response right here. That's
$20 super chats have taken the lead.
I know.
I have Jefferson, Diggs, and Debo. Congratulations. Would you consider moving Debo for Amon St. Brown plus?
Do I need a plus?
Yes, I would. I was gonna say I don't. I feel like at this point that you might not get a plus.
You won't get a plus, but
and if you do get a plus, it's gonna.
If you do get any plus, I would take it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, yeah, anything at all.
Amon-Ra St. Brown plus Jalen Reagor. That might actually hurt the trade-off.
I hated to see him booed last night. That was. Come on, don't do that.
Cruel.
That was cruel.
I think this is going to be one of those moves that we look back in like a year or two and be like, "Wow, isn't it funny that like Debo for Amon-Ra St. Brown was such a question back then, but now it's just so obviously Amon-Ra." Like people have been doing that now with like their Julio trades that they did in like 2018 and 2019. You know, there's just like, yeah.
Is the Amon-Ra worth a 23 first for you, Addison?
Is he worth 2? I think should be the better question.
Ooh. Yeah, he's worth the 23.
So you have him higher than Drake London?
Yes.
Higher than DJ Moore?
Yes.
DJ Moore is lower than Drake London.
Higher than Michael Pittman?
No, we're not there.
I do. I have him higher than Michael Pittman.
Ooh.
They're pretty close though.
But sounds like you have him equal to or higher than Debo, maybe.
He's around there.
Have them equal.
I've never been a Debo guy. His production just always seems so weird and fluky to me, and he does it every single week, and I just can't get on board with it. I don't know why. But I would definitely, I would love to trade Debo for Amon-Ra plus. If the plus is, like you guys said, anything. Like, man, if you get away with Amon-Ra in a second, holy crap.
That would be so great.
Yeah.
Gosh. What if that plus was Tony?
Yeah.
Does that make it a worse deal?
Sure.
No, I'll take it.
All right. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Caleb.
Caleb, thank you.
Love it. Okay. Samson, I think this is where we left off here. In my inbox, 23 first and a 24 third for Smitty in a 1 QB half PPR team. Asking for Smitty is 0-2 and doesn't look like a contender.
23 first.
That's Devonta Smith, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 23 first easily.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easy.
Matthew Mulligan just got Debo, Amari Cooper, Fant, Gesicki for Kittle, Elijah Moore, Brevin Jordan, and a 25 second. Any thoughts? Mark,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
it.
Yeah, I like it. You got off of Kittle, Brevin Jordan's whatever. Elijah Moore in a second for Debo sounds fine.
Yep.
So
that's fine.
I like it. I wish the tight ends were a little more usable, but, but whatever.
Quick redraft question. Sorry, don't apologize for that. We can do we can do those two here. Offered Mixon and Carr for Kyler. My current starting running backs are Swift and Breece Hall.
Redraft.
No.
I
take
assuming it's 1 QB, I would keep Mixon and Carr.
I think Mixon's worth more than Kyler.
Even if it's Superflex, I'll still take Mixon and Carr.
Yes, that too.
Agreed.
Withdraw.
Peter Sandoval, Superflex, DJ Moore, James Cook, 23 first, 23 second, 22, 23 thirds for Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. Easily, yeah. It's not particularly close.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Good stuff right there. Ridley Truther, yo, my 3 amigos and a 12 team Superflex, 2 tight end premium plus 0.5.
First down.
First down.
First down. Ooh,
Let's
clutch
go.
there, Tyler. Appreciate that. All positional players give Hawk. How do you feel about Hawk right now? Tyler. I mean, not Tyler, Addison.
He's all right.
Your guy.
I'm
worried.
He's fine. He's
Hawk,
not Mike Gesicki. That's
I think
That's
he's probably
such a
been
low
outscored by
bar.
Mike Gesicki right now, actually.
I think he is, yeah.
Hawk plus
actually.
Christian Kirk, get Judy plus Higbee. I have Amon-Ra, Andrew, Schultz, Goddard are ready.
I'll take
Hawk
Judy and
Christian
Higbee.
Kirk.
Same here.
I'll take Judy and Higbee.
Diggs,
really
well
want
worth
Judy.
that first round pick I gave up 2 years ago. Still making me money. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Diggs looks good.
Dude, I needed Diggs to outscore Miles Sanders last night. And I was feeling good after the first touchdown. Then after the second touchdown, I kind of stopped paying attention. Then I got the notification that he scored a third touchdown, and I about sent an apology letter to my opponent. I
I have
felt
the
so bad.
Allen Diggs stack in Scott Fishbowl, and it was a good week.
I had two at Tyreek.
Raheel says 12 team. I'm not sure what this question was referring to. Sorry. Henry, someone here may or may not have told me that they would not have traded a first for Diggs at that time.
Wonder who that was.
I'm not sure. J-Dub, I'm a
Was I even
contender
giving advice years ago?
in a super flex. Only hole on my roster is tied in with Pitts. No, you're fine. Stop it. Should I shop him around? No.
I would deal with it. Yeah.
Now's not the time to shop Pitts.
Don't
that
shop
was
Pitts.
That was 3 weeks ago.
Yep. Yeah, if you're going to do it, that's when to do it. He's
like
going to be
pain
fine.
right there.
He's going to be fine. Look,
Now
I'm not concerned.
time for this. That comes later.
Stickman 87, 10 teams Superflex, start 9, half PPR, contender in need of a running back upgrade. Is it worth spending a 23 first to get a top guy like Eckler, Cook, or Henry, who's off to a slow start? I'm a little worried about those slow starts.
Worried about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about all three.
I saw all these tweets about how running backs over the age of, I think it's 27 or 28, like have not had a top 5 performance in the past like decade or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And I dismissed it. So I was like, come on, man. I was like, this is what we're doing. And now this is where we're
No,
at. And
yeah,
maybe
I can't spend a 23 first on any of these guys.
No.
Sorry.
Would you trade that first for either of those guys or Aaron Jones?
No.
No, Aaron Jones is even worse.
Leonard Fournette?
No, of course.
You're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Saquon Barkley.
I'd consider that more.
That's about right where the line is.
Christian McCaffrey.
No.
I don't want to.
If you're a contender, I'm
thinking-
not doing this.
I don't want to do this.
I'm not spending a first for a running back because they could just tear their ACL next week and you threw it first away. There's
Be
other
more
ways.
patient.
There's other ways to be a contender and buy running backs without actually spending your firsts.
If you're a real contender, you don't need to do a panic move like this. You can be patient.
Yep.
Wait till right before your trade deadline. You'll get the best deal. Really truther, you'd think the reason they drafted him 4th overall was to win games. Arthur Smith's a fraud, carried by A.J. Brown and King Henry's prime. New coach and QB coming soon. Pitts didn't forget how to be good.
I mean,
We'll see.
I don't know if Arthur Smith is going to last the season.
Yeah, that's true too. We got a
They've
super
been more
chat-
competitive
super
than I
chat
thought they
now.
would. Do what? Say it again.
We got another super chat.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, we both pulled up.
What are you adding to Muth to get Pitts? See, I like this direction. I like going in the direction of getting Pitts.
I'd still pay Muth and a first for Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough?
Try it. Try it. See if it's enough, and then get back to me.
Then add a second.
Where's our guy that was like his hole in his roster? Yeah, I wonder, J-Dub, would you do that? Would you trade Pitts for?
Maybe they're in the
Muth
same
and a
league.
first?
Who knows?
Maybe. I'm sorry. You can pull that back up. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Now we're good.
If I go find it,
No, I think-
it's going to be too. Yeah.
No, I think that was about it. I think try the Muth in a first. See what you can get. Then if that doesn't work, try adding a second.
Mhm.
If that doesn't work, maybe it's just not worth it. And then you have Pat Freiermuth, who's actually the better tight end from the 2021 class. So,
Wow.
sorry, Penn
Eric,
State.
Really sure there must be a Falcon fan. That's my guess here.
He's the recovering Ridley Truther.
He
Eric
needs to be
Lyman,
London Truther.
12-team Superflex Stafford and Deontay Johnson, or Tua.
Stafford and Deontay.
It sucks that this is a real consideration.
It's Stafford and Deontay. This is one of those trades that whatever side the extra's on, it's that side.
I know.
Yes,
I know.
Agreed. Lynn wins Ingram, Hurst, Logan Thomas, or Conklin.
We answered this already.
Ingram.
Hurst.
Yeah, we answered that.
Ingram. Both of them.
I just sent a flyer for Pitts right now. Let's see. Yeah, Justin, you do it. Right, he'll see. You know what? It's very possible this was accepted already. So let us know, Justin, if you're still there.
True. It was like an hour ago.
Yeah. Right, Hill, QBs. All right, this is his team. It's a start 11 league. Should I trade Chubb for Waller?
No.
No.
No. Definitely not. No. Chubb is worth more.
Or trade what for Pitts?
Can you trade Chubb for Pitts? I do that.
Try it.
Chubb and A-Rob for Pitts.
Chubb scored 3 touchdowns. Maybe you don't need to add.
Oh.
Chubb and CEH for Waller or for Pitts. Yeah.
What price should you look for if selling Christian McCaffrey? I think first sounds like both you guys would take a first.
I think
I think you can get more.
I was going to say, if it's from a contender and they believe that first is going to be 110, 111, 112, I think you should be. I would take McCaffrey over that first. I think the other question was a mid to early first. And I would take the mid to early first over McCaffrey.
Yeah, those are very different things.
Yeah, if you're selling McCaffrey to a contender who wants McCaffrey to make a run, I want a first plus. And it would probably the plus doesn't need to be anything massively significant. Maybe just something like a second or a first in Ramondre. That might feel good on both
late.
sides.
I feel like I want more plus than that.
A first and Rashad White, still more plus. A first and Kenneth Walker. Could you get that done?
That's a lot better.
You might be able to get that done if the other person really wants. They were trying to hope on Walker.
Guys, if you ask the questions 10 times, I will ban you. I'm not kidding.
For everybody just joining us right now, I want to let you know that as we approach this, we're a little over the hour and a half mark, that we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, that's right. We are DLF, but we have a partnership going right now with Underdog. I want to make sure that we let everybody know that it is a great time to play Underdog. It is the perfect time. You can sign up using the promo code DLF, deposit minimum $10. You can start playing daily fantasy. Use that promo code. If you deposit $10, you're going to get a free year premium subscription to DLF. That is absolutely worth doing right now just for that. Plus, you get that $10. It's going to be matched by Underdog, and you're going to play it. And if you're watching this, you're part of a upper echelon of people paying attention to this. You should be doing it anyway. It's like free money. Go do it and get back to us.
My favorite part of creating content at DLF is that I get to be a DLF subscriber for free.
Yeah, it's a great subscription. So.
Great value.
Henry Muto, as a Browns fan, I'm still crushed by possibly the most stupid loss of my life.
I'm sorry, Henry, but if this, as a Browns fan, this is your lowest moment, I think you need to recalibrate how you have felt about your Browns fandom over the years.
Well,
this cannot be the most stupid loss of your life. I know the history of the Browns, and this is not the worst moment for you.
In fairness,
sorry, Henry.
I think it's been 22 years since somebody lost with a double-digit lead with less than 2 minutes.
Well, the Browns find other stupid ways to lose. They find other stupid ways to lose.
It was 99.4% on the win probability for the Browns with less than 2 minutes left. And still lost to Joe Flacco.
I know. What? But Joe Flacco owns them, and you know it.
I don't know. He's been beating Cleveland for a decade.
Yeah, I know. You can tell. I get woken up by the non-fantasy comment.
Jake Detweiler, I have tried to move acres for 3 months. Do I settle for 23rd? No. Get out of here, Jake. Don't do that.
No. Of course
Sometimes
not. Come
it's
on,
the
Jay.
trade you don't make.
The hype train's building back up now. We got volume this past week.
I'll build up the hype train for you. I'll just say that Cam Akers is going to be great. I'll say it right now. Cam Akers is going to be great. Here, we can clip that. Cam Akers is going to be great. He's going to have RB1 games, some RB1 games throughout the rest of the season. You can clip that.
If you can trade for Cam Akers from a guy named Jake in your league, you have to do it. Give up a first now.
Yeah, I agree.
Clip that, Jake, and send it to your league. Brian Lee, 10 teams, specifically 2 QB, not Superflex. Is it reasonable to want a first for Jimmy G?
Unreasonable. No, I don't want a first. I mean, you're not going to get a first for Jimmy G.
If you can, fantastic.
Oh, that would be great, but you can't.
Couple
I like
seconds.
Jimmy G, though.
What can you get for Jimmy G?
A second plus. Yeah. I think somebody, especially if you have Jimmy G and you don't have Trey Lance, you need to find the Trey Lance guy who might be reeling and be like, yo, how about you give me
Trey Lance
cool
for Jimmy G? How about that?
Could you get Christian Kirk for Jimmy G? Probably not.
Probably not.
I went too high. Could you get Michael Gallup for Jimmy G?
That's not enough.
In a super flex, I don't think Christian Kirk is unreasonable.
Oh, try it then.
You guys dismissed that a little bit too quickly, I think.
Well, I would try it then.
Could you get Sky Moore for Jimmy G?
Try it.
I'm just trying to find these players who haven't done anything yet.
Travis Etienne, then, if you're going to talk about people who haven't done anything yet.
Jesus Christ.
I would love that, but I don't think you can.
All right, let's move on. Rebuilding and got Lance for Fields. It's pretty happy about it. Yeah,
I like it.
Are we that happy?
Rebuilding.
No, I think so. One of these guys can continue losing value. The other guy's already bottomed out.
Oh, Lance can absolutely continue losing value. If Jimmy G goes out and does great, and then we're like, well, why go? Lance didn't do that. You could continue to lose value.
The thing is that at least then the Niners wouldn't have the opportunity to draft somebody else. We would still have confidence, I think. I think the community...
Well, they don't have the opportunity to draft someone else anyway because they sent their 23 first away in the trade.
Whereas Justin Fields, the Bears might be the 101. So we might have a Josh Rosen situation.
But if the... I still think if the Niners are 12-5 with Jimmy G, I think that they're going to bring Jimmy G back if they can.
Devin Singletary and a 24-second or Christian Kirk. Kirk is going nuts.
Kirk for sure.
Agreed. Mac Jones is dry white toast. Yeah.
Great for when you're sick.
Henry, last year I took St. Brown over Tony and was told it was a mistake. I was making by another fantasy show because Tony was a first rounder and St. Brown a fourth rounder. Yeah, I think a lot of people started to think that way. And I
said that too.
I love Amonra.
Whoops.
23 mid first or Amonra?
Amonra.
You getting Amon? 12 teams Superflex. I traded Kyler and JMO for JJ and Baker. Kyler score scares me, and I couldn't wait for JMO.
It's not great. I would rather have Kyler and JMO. For sure. Baker's utter.
The main difference
utter
is
trash.
And Baker.
Yeah, Baker's utter trash. I'll take Kyler and JMO. Sure.
Just go flip JJ for a quarterback now. At least you didn't lose value that way. Like you have Justin Jefferson.
Here.
10 teams, Superflex start 10, half PPR, no tight end premium, give Amonra and Akers and get Metcalf and a 23 first.
Oh, I'll take Metcalf with the first. As much as I love Amonra, take Metcalf with first. First, too tempting.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
I mean, Metcalf and Amon Ra are not valued that differently. I still believe
no. Yeah,
Boy.
He's gotten all right. The
I'd
fact
rather
that
have
Tyler
Amon-Ra
Lockett
straight
looked
up.
like vintage Tyler Lockett gives me confidence that DK Metcalf can have games.
Yeah, I'd rather have Amon Ra straight up over DK Metcalf, though.
Right, but then the first over Akers is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, here I come. My bad. I keep forgetting. I gotta push this button, and I keep forgetting to push that button. All right, I agree with you guys. Do that. Let's see. Would you move Carr for Kittle? 14 team Superflex. Carr is my QB3.
No,
definitely not.
Definitely not in
14 team Superflex. No, Carr's worth
No.
3 times as much as Kittle in that format.
No.
FF Lefty, there seems to be a bit of a power struggle in Superflex between Kyle S and John L over
You mean in San Francisco?
Yeah, I guess that makes more sense to that question. Would they trade Lance? Could they? No. I don't think there's a power struggle.
Well,
I think they could trade Trey Lance if they could still. I don't know if Trey Lance is worth the first right now, but I think if they got that offer, they'd probably strongly consider it.
I think that there's a possibility that they could go with Jimmy G long term if he's good this year.
Right. Which means that you would just take a first for your backup quarterback, use that to actually build with.
Yeah, I agree. I am concerned about Trey Lance. I still would buy him low but he's going to have to come, I think, at more of a discount for me than what you guys want.
Could we trade Trey Lance to Chicago for Justin Fields? I want to see Justin Fields in an actually competent offense.
Like I said, Trey Lance
done. He's done with like going into a season knowing he's capped with what Garoppolo caps him with. It's like what McVay was when he had Goff and he was like, I can't continue to do this with this guy, and he traded him and got Stafford. I think that
I
is
wish
where
we had
are.
just seen anything from Trey Lance, anything at all, anything good, but we haven't.
It sucks. It really does.
We haven't. So if Jimmy Garoppolo goes out and is good, and they make it to the playoffs, make a run, they're not going to even try to retain him. I think they are.
We'll have to see.
Andrew's tied in 1. Fade the hype. Pitts is good. Andrew's great.
He's been my tight end 1 all year. So
I'll still take Pitts.
Me too. Ryan Evans, I traded Wilson and a 23 4th for Chase Edmonds.
Wilson? Garrett Wilson? That would be very bad. I don't know who that is. Sorry.
Russell?
Last name, please. And format.
First name.
Sorry. Yeah.
Is this
we have no idea what this is. Let's just move on.
I was trying to think of the Wilson.
I see it. Marquise Wilson.
Ken Kelly, who do you like best at the partner group at DLF?
No comment.
Look,
everybody equally, all at the same 1/6 love.
Ken Kelly is one of those for anybody who doesn't know.
I feel like of the three of us, I was the only one who had any chance of answering. But I will stick with my non-answer.
I think it depends on who's watching right now, Ken. If I could know that, then I would have my answer.
That's true.
AJ says, would you trade Jefferson and Jeff Wilson for Waddle, Brandon Cooks, and DeAndre Swift?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Yes.
I love Waddle. Partially why I love Waddle is because of his celebration when he scores a touchdown. I gotta be honest with you. That's part of it.
Waddle is very high in my rankings at the moment.
If I can get like a picture like that Arian Foster one, but a signed one of him just going like this.
Oh yeah.
That's the money.
Waddle was 20th overall, wide receiver 10 in September Superflex DLF ADP. Like I have him at 5th overall and wide receiver 4. So
Jefferson's got the gritty, and it's good, but it's not the Waddle.
Man, get both
Superflex. Go pull that.
Superflex again.
Yeah. You guys are killing it.
How would you play? Yeah, I appreciate all the super chats. How would you play 5.23 seconds in a Superflex tight end premium league trade for proven vets? Close to the draft, or move back to 24, try to get it first. The last one, I mean, any of these are things you could do as you get close to draft. If you're looking in season, you could trade them for. It's another super chat after this one. You can trade for proven pieces in the middle of the season if you're trying to compete. It depends on if you're trying to compete or not, right? I'm fine trading seconds. I'm trying to compete.
This is where I want, like, people are asking, should I trade a first for Austin Eckler? No. I want to trade my seconds for,
Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, those James Conner.
Instead, yeah. You usually want to buy, when you're trying to buy pieces, you want to buy the discount pieces.
Right. Kareem Hunt. Want those guys for seconds instead of the big guys for firsts. Would you trade 2 23 seconds like right now today for 1 24 first?
Yes.
I would do that too. So
Yes. But
I think you have a couple options.
Yeah, and for me in this, like what I'm trying to do with those is either trade them in a way that like nets me a first. So like going the other way. So trading a player and my second for a first. Or I'm trying to take that second and combine it with a player and get a better player.
Right.
Like improving my starting lineup in some way. To me, honestly, like I get something in my inbox that's got like a bunch of seconds. Like I'm pretty dismissive of it if it's a trade offer to me. So, but something like, you know, like I don't know, like Rashad Bateman and a second for, I'm trying to think of what would
Drake
be
London.
For Drake London. Yeah.
Garrett Wilson.
Deontay Johnson, something like that.
Yeah.
That's more what I'd be looking to do with those seconds.
Upgrades or firsts, or like a solid veteran player that can help you compete.
Yeah.
You have options for sure, especially with 5 of them. You can do
true.
all
You do
3
have
of
a lot
those
of
things.
options.
You could.
That's right. You really could.
You could trade for Leonard Fournette with one of the seconds, package 2 of them for a 24 first, then send Rashad Bateman in a first for Drake London, and all of a sudden you're still a contender and you're amazing in terms of long-term and future value.
Let's get that next super chat there. Good. You want to read it, Tyler?
12-team PPR, 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, tight end, 1-1, sit at 8. Lamar, Javonte, Etienne, Devontae, T. Higgins, Kelsey, bench, Damien Harris, Burks, Mooney.
Yeah, this is redraft. He said it was redraft.
But what's the question?
Let's see.
A little lost here.
Yeah, trying to figure out what the exact.
Yeah, I don't know what are you asking how you're doing?
I guess put a starting lineup together here. 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end.
Maybe. Okay. Well,
Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, you have, I guess, the starting lineup in that I would do. Yeah. I mean,
I would not be starting Travis Etienne.
But you're gonna start Damien Harris instead.
Yeah.
Any moves,
or what would you do? Well,
redraft.
In redraft, I might try to get rid of Travis Etienne, but I don't know if you can. I mean, you keep Lamar, Devontae, Higgins, and Kelsey. Mooney. I don't even know what you do at this point in redraft.
I think like if you're saying that you can't get anything,
you hang on to him one more week.
Anything for Mooney.
Can't get anything. I think you hang on to him one more week. If it's another terrible week, then you just
Mooney has a higher target share than T. Higgins does. Fun fact.
So it's easier to do that when your quarterback throws the ball 10 times a game.
Exactly.
Right now.
You can get but one more bad week from Mooney or the whole Bears offense, I guess. You can just get rid of him.
Could you package Damien Harris and Etienne for a better?
I just don't think those kind of moves work in redraft. I mean, you can try it.
I'm not really sure that they do either. I mean, just Damien Harris had a touchdown.
Yeah,
he had a solid like RB2 performance. So
he looked great. He looks good.
Yeah,
this is a good team. You did great.
Yeah,
I like what you did.
Yeah.
All right.
Scott
12-team single quarterback, no tight end premium. Should I trade Higgins, Andrews, 24 third and 4th for Chase and Hawkinson?
No tight end premium.
Trade Higgins.
No premium. Would you rather have Higgins and Andrews, or those picks, or Chase and Hawkinson?
I would rather have Higgins and Andrews.
I think I would too.
Me too. As much as I love Chase, I'd rather have Higgins
Chase,
and Andrews.
but I think I'd rather have Higgins and Andrews. Those are such premium players. I think I have to take that side.
Because I think Andrews is like
worth
way better than Hawkinson right now.
Yeah, Hawkinson is not worth much to me anymore. So Higgins and Andrews.
Yes.
Okay, great job, guys. Keep those super chats coming. We can get to those right away. We are pretty far behind. At some point, we're going to run out of steam here and get silly, probably, but not yet.
Can we answer questions?
Sean, let's see. I had 12 teams Superflex. I had someone's first mid-team, but wanted to rebuild. He offered me CMC and Henry for his mid to high first. 23 second, Khalil Herbert and Gainwell.
Weird.
That is weird.
Because CMC and Henry are worth more, but if they want to rebuild, I feel like that first is going to end up being Bijan Robinson. And then I would want Bijan Robinson over those.
Could be.
Panic meter on Derrick Henry, by the way, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Considering they continue to like hand him the ball in the midst of like where
Hellfire.
it was clearly not the right move for them, like kind of tells you he's going to keep getting that opportunity at least.
My dynasty panic meter is high, but it was already kind of just because of age and whatnot. But it's just he's getting the touches, so I'm not all that concerned.
I mean, in a vacuum, the CMC side is worth more, but
yeah, I think I still want the first though, because I mean the rest of the trade is not terrible either. I mean, you get a 23-second. Khalil Herbert and Gainwell are solid.
The trade is a bunch of crap
bench pieces. I'll take the first.
Sure, but it's not. The other side worth more, but I understand.
Talent lead 12 teams Superflex PPR. Start 3 wide receivers and 4 flex of JJ, Chase, Deontay, Terry, Curtis Samuel, Claypool. Who are the last 4 do you package to upgrade to another wide receiver 1?
Well, any of them can go, but Terry is the one I want to get rid of. I don't trust him. I think his name carries a lot more value than he actually produces.
Right, I agree. Can you do? You probably can't do Terry and Curtis Samuel on the same team. Maybe you can, just because Samuel has the production right now.
Can you do? Yeah, I don't know. It's always tough to do stuff like that.
JJ and Chase. I mean, how greedy you're going to get here, Tal?
I know. I feel like you're fine.
And Deontay, you're
fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, could you
3 wide receiver and 4 flex? I don't know if upgrading is what I would need.
That's a good point. Yeah, because you kind of need the.
I mean, I'd like to get rid of Terry just like in a vacuum. I don't really want him, but Deontay is not a sell for me. Deontay's a buy.
You're not turning any of the rest of that into Waddle,
not a difference maker,
or
could you turn Samuel and Claypool into just like Mike Williams and be done with it?
CeeDee Lamb?
Maybe. Those would be the 2 that I would try. Like, if anybody on this team doesn't have longevity for the remainder of the year, I think it's Samuel and Claypool. And if you could just turn both of them into someone solid, Gabe Davis. No. Listen here, Cal.
Who that dude? 10-team Dynasty. I drafted Garrett Wilson round 1. John Dotson fell to me in the second round and traded Curtis Samuel for Drake London after week 1.
What kind of league is this?
Dynasty?
No, what kind of league is this? This is a bunch of
there's no way.
Bunch of nonsense.
This is a bunch of people who played redraft and then they decided they should make a dynasty league.
Yeah,
I know. Curtis Samuel's so good. I don't know why you do that. Just kidding. Ed Franz, anytime someone wants their first back from me, I make them pay. Considering Ed has one of my first in the league that we're in, I won't be asking you for it back.
It almost sounds like Ed learned this from someone we know.
Yeah, maybe. Sebastian Cook, Debo, and Antonio Gibson for Jamar, Keenan, and James Robinson. Yes.
Well, I'd rather have Chase over Debo. I'd rather have Chase over Debo and Gibson combined. And then
Dalvin's
Cook scares me.
I'll just take Chase, Keenan, and James Robinson in redraft.
I think I have to.
I'll call it there.
It's close.
Agreed. Jack Markham currently rebuilding. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Burrow first and second for Herbert. I'll take Burrow first and second.
I'm still taking Burrow.
Burrow first and second.
For sure.
Easily, yeah.
Thank you, Kent.
Thanks, Ken. Jack, currently rebuilding 14-team PPR. Should I trade Amon-Ra high? If so, what should I look for? No, you should not.
No, you should not.
Amon-Ra is like the perfect rebuilding asset.
Here's what you should do, Jack. You should Google his family and just like join my petition that we get a 10-part Netflix series on his family, because it is unbelievable. Like, it would be the best show of all time.
I agree.
Go Google his family and research.
Amon-Ra, Equinemius, and Osiris.
The dad and the mom like only speaks to them in German. It's interesting stuff.
Very
guys.
bizarre.
They grew up eating red meat for breakfast. All right. There's and it just gets weirder after that. B. Salzburg need help at tight end. Have Komet and Njoku. And I say weird, I mean like awesome. I don't mean like weird. It's great. Have Komet and Njoku. Who would you target? What are you paying? What are you paying in a 12-team half PPR, no tight end premium, start 9? For example, I have the 23 first of the Hawk owner. He wants the first back. Seems pricey for Hawk.
Well, it's very pricey. I'm not paying that.
No,
I'm not paying anywhere near that.
I'm not paying a first for Hawk.
Yeah, I just go send something small for Zach Ertz.
Yep.
Or Tyler Higbee.
Yep.
Order 66, Kyler Murray or Lance and Pickett in a rebuild.
Kyler.
Take my chances with Kyler Murray.
Definitely. Jack, nothing wrong with holding Amon-Ra unless someone comes knocking on your door with a heavy offer. Ed,
it's got to be substantial.
It has to be a really big offer.
Pull as many of your messages here, Ed, but I cannot thank you enough for holding it down and answering a lot of these questions as they come through. Ed is really smart. You guys should definitely.
He is. He's the fourth.
Yeah, I wonder where Ed learned all of this from.
We should make him a moderator.
I know. I seriously that's a good idea. Wesley, he had a 73% snap share his second game back with Logan Thomas.
I think that is Logan Thomas.
Yeah, 73%.
It is Logan Thomas. Yeah,
but he's not. Everybody else is. All the wide receivers are playing in the high 80s and 90s.
I know.
That's the problem with the totem pole for targets.
And by the way, don't chase snap percentage.
It's not the worst thing to chase.
I'm telling you, it leads you down to some roads you don't want to be down. Demir Bird and stuff like that. Like it's
I just ignore it for players that are bad.
Cole Kmet, for instance, that was always the case for Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet had 93 targets last year, though. Like, it's not just snap percentage. He had 93 targets, which have now gone to nothing.
But yes.
So that's more of the problem is that.
Yes. Jack, currently rebuilding 14-team PPR.
Answered this already.
Okay, sorry.
Akers
or Brees Hall rest of season?
Hall. I think it's more likely Hall.
Definitely Hall. This is an easy one.
Hall.
Okay. Really truther saw Wentz career in Philly. This is by far his best wide receiver core.
After he leaves,
they draft Smith and AJ Brown. Last full season was only QB in history to throw over 4K and have 0 wide receivers over 500 yards.
Yeah, Wentz is still bad though.
Bothers me so much because it's like his tight ends didn't even exist.
Yeah, Wentz is still bad, unfortunately.
Let's see. Some
until Aaron Rodgers does that this year. Aaron Rodgers is going to have 4,000 passing yards and not have a wide receiver over 500. Sorry,
Superflex redraft says Jaden, I have Allen and Hertz and killing it. Want to snipe Jimmy G as a trade piece or bye weeks? How much fab would you drop?
You don't need him, and you are going to need someone for bye weeks. And Superflex, I mean, he's valuable. He's obviously going to be rostered. Superflex redraft. Hard to say based on how deep the benches are, but I would say it's probably not going to be the best player that comes along all year, but he's up there.
He's probably the best quarterback
who's going to come along. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be another quarterback on waivers that's going to come along.
Unless like Lamar Jackson,
Huntley being unlocked would be one of the only ones out there who would be somehow if Lamar, we're out for the year, that would be the only one.
I say go all of it and then wait till somebody needs a quarterback and trade him for his fab budget and a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with
as long as you're in a league where that trading is going to happen.
Also, yeah,
correct.
I mean, the other one who would be the fantasy gold mine, it would actually be Malik Willis if he ever plays because he runs, run, and he will play.
Let's see. Really truther. Big difference between Garrett Wilson and JJ as cousins and Z Will, though. Yeah, I think there's something to that for sure.
Will Flacco be benched though?
Yeah, he will.
Will he?
Vatican 12 team Superflex. No, it doesn't say that. 12 team half. Oh, it does say Superflex. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's being late. Half PPR, start 11. Give Lance, get Pickett, Devontae, and Calvin Austin. Oh, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, because he's on IR.
Trying to get Mike Will instead, but I don't know if I'll be able to. Keep Lance.
I guess, yeah. There's nothing on the other side that has the upside.
Yeah,
but if people are getting this, I don't mind. Go trade for Lance.
Right.
We have a Superflex.
Yeah, super chat. Should I trade? So the format. Should I trade? Should I trade Kittle for DJ Moore? Non-tight end premium. Yes. Yes, you should. Take DJ Moore.
Okay. Trade Kittle, get DJ Moore.
Yeah, definitely. DJ Moore.
Phil, 2 mid to late 23 first, or Javonte Williams in a 10-team 1 QB half PPR league.
1 QB, I'll take Javonte still.
Yes. Yep.
Javonte's looking fine.
Fast now. Currently rebuilding 14-team PPR. Should I trade him?
This is the same question.
Oh, come on, Jack. Come on, Jack. Mike Oxlong, would you trade for Deshaun Watson this early in the season?
What?
Oh, I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
Addison.
If so, what is he worth in a 1 QB
Addison,
format?
why is your mind noise in the gutter?
That's what his name is, man.
I
That's why
know.
he did that.
That's so
That's why he
funny.
did that.
But I separated it out and I said
But
Oxlong.
I never read the names. It's funny. Whenever I do my shows, I never read the names.
Yeah.
Ever. I
That's
never
why
read
he
them.
did that.
I
There's
gave
so
a
many names
pause.
like that.
I gave a pause.
Okay.
I don't think you should try to trade for him in a 1 QB. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
2 was definitely a Juju level of car pay.
False. He didn't have a nickname. He wasn't Juju Smith-Booster.
That's true.
So he didn't have a nickname. So
He wasn't
no,
at that
it's
level.
false.
He was-
This is totally fake news. We can go and get the record.
What is it? This is the Dante's Inferno is a 7 layers of hell or something like that. Like Juju's on like level 6.
Yeah,
and
Juju's
Tua was
much
like
lower
4.
down in the circle of hell.
This is the one I'm telling you. Like, you can still get a lot for Etienne because there's somebody like this in your league that is still making excuses for him. And I get it. It's the second game. That's fine. But like, this is not one where, look, you can just look at all the positive. That's fine. And are there positive things? Sure. But you can't ignore all the negatives. There are a lot of negative things to think about with the Travis Etienne, and you do not know
Also,
things are going to get better.
It's the other thing is that the problem is at running back is there's one running back who plays, not 2 or 3. Like there's at wide receiver. At wide receiver, you can prove it as you're playing. You don't have to beat someone else necessarily. You can play well, and then it can be noticed by the coaching staff. The problem at running back is you have to be better than the other guy. You have to be better. The coaching staff has to like you better. Otherwise, you don't get on the field. You don't get a chance. So it's different. Running back opportunity is more given by the coaching staff, whereas wide receiver opportunity, since they're all out there, is more earned by their play on the field. And, Peter Howard says this all the time, but it bears repeating because I feel like it's not, still sometimes people get a little confused about how that works.
Everybody wants him to be Kamara. I feel like he's looking more like Nahim Heinz right now than Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
I know that hurts.
More like Chase Edmonds, to be honest.
I know that hurts. Addison.
Chase Edmonds, I would say, is a better comp than
Sean Riley. Just accepted this trade in a 12-team Superflex, 2 tight end, PPR, start 11, gave Dallas Goedert and Drake London, and got Dalton Schultz, 23 first, second, 24 first, second, and 98 in Fab.
Yeah, I'm going to take the picks.
Take that.
Schultz and Goddard are kind of a wash. I'd lean Goddard, but with any of the seconds, I'd go to Schultz, and then the London is not worth 2 firsts. So
right, he has 8 first rounders over the next 3
this is
years.
a great move.
Awesome.
Great move. I'll take the picks easily.
Etienne. Okay, so Addison, what are you buying Etienne for as the resident Etienne guy?
I'm not buying him first.
I don't think anyone is.
No, I always start with that. Like the baseline is where do we value him among like first and stuff like that. If you could pay let me scroll down here real quick. I would pay after this week, whenever Damien Pierce breaks out against the
I'd
Chicago
still rather
Bears,
have Travis Etienne over Damien
Pierce and a second for Travis Etienne. I'd still be willing to move running backs kind of in his space. When you think of guys, like Nick Chubb and stuff like that, you want ETN plus for these kind of guys.
I don't know.
Or Fournette or Montgomery.
I'd still move
ETN.
Fournette or Montgomery for ETN straight up.
I would love to do that. I'd just be willing to add on to that. In Dynasty, I'd add a second to both.
I'm also willing to go from one fire to another. If I can go from J.K. Dobbins to Travis Etienne, from one disaster to another, I'll take the healthy disaster.
Right.
Over the unhealthy disaster.
I'm with that as well.
Damien Pierce?
Over Etienne, yeah. Etienne over
Etienne
Pierce.
over
Yeah.
Pierce for
Etienne
sure.
over Pierce. Yeah. Pierce. I don't
Wait until after this week.
have confidence in Pierce.
Yeah, see, Ken's saying I don't think you can buy a low on him yet. That's why I think you can still sell him if you have him. So
I think
and
also
still get a pretty good price.
I think also I have to realize that most people, and this does sometimes happen, but I think I do a decent job of realizing this, but sometimes it does confuse me a little. Most people I'm talking to, like about Dynasty, are specifically looking for me to tell them what to do. So they're going to just go with whatever I say and just like double down on it. So if I'm saying that I should panicking on Travis Etienne, they're going to suddenly start panicking more. And then it's going to like be a feedback loop and that kind of thing. So like because a lot of, people I talk to or patrons or whatever, they watch this show or they watch my other show or they watch whatever. They follow me on Twitter. They see what I'm saying. And then they're going to be panicked on Travis Etienne, even if I didn't necessarily tell them directly to be panicked on Travis Etienne. So I understand that maybe what I'm hearing is that people are more panicked because I've caused that. But I still see it on even Twitter where I don't feel like I'm influencing it directly. I see panic.
Yeah. We got to remember that like there are tens of thousands of Dynasty leagues out there. And while you listen to this show or consume Dynasty content, if you're here, the 11 other people in your leagues might not. And they might play it much more closer to redraft. They might feel things a lot harder. Like the mass consensus within a small Dynasty sphere of the people who consume a lot of Dynasty content aren't going to be off of Etienne just yet, but there's a larger circle of people who are probably terrified.
I would say also that as someone who has a lot of Twitter followers, not all of whom are super tapped in, and clearly from the numbers, most of them don't watch this show. I would say that the panic is there.
There's panic.
Yeah.
Lots of panic.
People are fickle. Memory is very short term. When a player who you started has caused you to lose, suddenly there's a different feeling about that player when you're blaming them. What if you lost by 2 points and it was Travis Etienne in your lineup? You could say that was the difference. You said maybe you started him over James Robinson this week. You had both, and that cost you.
Yep.
How might you feel in that scenario?
I've done the same thing with Mike Evans. I've rage traded him.
So even you've done it.
I've done it.
Right. As an analyst, you've done it.
Yes.
So you know what we're talking about.
Holy crap, it happened again.
I know. Another super chat, a yellow super chat. I'm trying to figure out how there's blue. I see a green. I see a yellow one. There was an orange one. There's some sort of system. Do you have NFL player comparisons for Bijan Robinson, CJ Stroud, and Bryce Young? How do you rank them in Superflex? This is a great question. I will say that during the season, I don't follow college football. I just do not have time. Like with doing start sit, I don't have time. And I've also found that I can catch up. Like I have not found that I need more time than the middle of January to April 25th to analyze rookies. I actually have found that is too much time. It's too much time. I cycle the same takes over and over again. And I actually get very burnt out by the end of that process. So I actually wish the NFL draft were a little sooner, not later. But yeah, during the season, I don't even touch college football. I don't have time for that. In terms of what I know, I mean, Bijan Robinson is one of the best running back prospects that we've had in recent times, right?
Bijan Robinson would be the RB1 in probably 3 of the last 5 classes.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to? I think he's going to go in the first round.
He's a one of those Saquon Barkley level, Jonathan Taylor level running back.
Yeah, but I think he's going to get draft capital somewhere in between those two. I think he's going to.
Right.
I think we're past the days where running backs go in the top 10. I think NFL teams know better now.
No. But he will be a first round pick,
and I think he'll be a first round pick.
He automatically comes in. This is both just from his profile, his draft capital, but then also the landscape of the running back position right now for Dynasty. He's going to immediately come in as a top 5 running back, if not top 3.
I agree. I think he's going to.
That's how we're at with Bijan.
So
Stroud and Bryce Young, I think we're still a little early on. Bryce has been really up and down. Stroud's look really strong, but his receivers are just so freaking good.
For now, I would say that, the running back 2 in Dynasty is probably going to be ranked in a Superflex over the quarterback. These guys are not going to be top 10 in overall.
No. I was going to say Stroud and Young are probably back in QB1s.
At best.
Yes.
I think at best
They'll probably come in over everybody in the 2021 class except for Trevor Lawrence. And they'll come in over Rodgers and
the old guys, yeah.
Maybe Stafford and Wilson.
But yeah, they're not going to be in the top 10. So I would say Bijan will be the first of these.
As of right now, in Superflex combined rankings, on the DLF page, DeAndre Swift comes in cumulatively as the 13th overall player. Would Bijan Robinson be ahead of him?
Yes.
So it puts him as a top 12 NFL player?
I mean, I just said he would come in as the running back 2. Everyone other than
and right now DeAndre Swift is RB2. So so ahead of him.
Yeah, everyone other than Taylor.
Stroud and Bryce Young, like Prescott.
I think the real strength of this class is that it's going to have like 8 or 9 players who are like a top 50 Superflex asset. Whereas this class, even now, this class only to me has 3. Even after we've had a couple of games, still only has 3. Whereas next year, I think it's going to have 8 or 9. It's a big difference. That mid to late first is going to be a totally different prospect.
Thank you, Lounging Bear. Make sure you keep paying attention here and
pay attention to the Devi rankings. It's another thing I would say. It's like I just don't do it, and neither do either Cal or Addison, really, right? I mean, you guys don't really do a lot of Devi content during the season.
No, that's something that I'm going to try and prioritize for next year. Not from me, but I want somebody on this channel to do Devi.
Yeah, it just isn't going to be any of us. Especially with me with start sit. Start sit takes up every minute of extra time that I have.
Question here about T. Higgins. Let me read a couple of T. Higgins from the Trade Finder. T. Higgins and a 23 second for CeeDee Lamb.
Higgins
and a second. Yeah, Higgins is worth more than Lamb.
Higgins for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jahan Dotson, Jordan Mason, and Kyle Phillips.
Higgins. Too much crap on the other side. He'll take Higgins.
Higgins and CeeDee Lamb for Garrett Wilson and Cortland Sutton.
What? No, that makes no sense. Higgins and Lamb for sure.
These are real trades here.
Real trades can be dumb, right?
T. Higgins for Breece Hall.
Ooh. I'll take Higgins.
No, I lied. Higgins. Sorry.
Very good.
I'm noticing this year that running backs are scoring even less. Like, I think I was about to say, I used a very bad word, but I definitely didn't do my best with my redraft overall rankings this year. I should have had a lot more wide receivers higher.
What I see, it was a tweet that said 8 or 9 wide receivers right now are outscoring Nick Chubb, who is the current RB1.
Yeah, it was
so
definitely lesson learned that wide receiver, or like this year, if I could do it over again, I wouldn't say I would change my overall rankings, obviously, because that's hindsight, but I think I would change my structure in that I think I would have had Jonathan Taylor 1 and then wide receivers. 9
wide receivers.
Yeah, I might have had Christian McCaffrey in there somewhere, but I would have had my first round probably would have included, a significant number of wide receivers. But then CeeDee Lamb would have been in there, and that would have been a mistake. So
I'm going to have to pick and choose some of these questions here, unfortunately, guys. Appreciate all of them. Thanks for sending them in. Dustin Ross, 12 teams Superflex. Happy VR. Would you send Deontay in a 23 second for Burks in a 23 first?
You're picking the hard ones. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to take Burks in a first.
I would also take Burks in the first.
Yeah. Deontay and his first are almost equal, but Burks over second. So Burks in a first.
And if we don't get your trade, guys, please, hit us up on Twitter. Make sure
Ask
you find
me on Twitter. I do my best.
And
the Discord is great. The Discord would be a great place because there's a lot of people checking. Not usually me. I'm in there, but I don't answer too many questions. But it's mostly who's the most active in there, would you say?
Corey's active.
Active. Ken is in there.
And I've been trying to be active in there too. I wasn't in there today, but I like answering those questions in there. I like Discord.
Jeff is in there a lot. But just check out everyone in the Discord and then maybe just click on them. And some of them might have their Twitter linked. So maybe just give them a follow if you like their Discord responses to support them.
Sean, should I trade Elijah Mitchell and a 23 second for Zach Wilson? Have Mahomes as my QB1.
A super flex? I think I'll take Wilson. because Mitchell's coming back. Who knows when? I'll take my chances on Wilson maybe being good, even though I think he's bad.
I'll take Zach Wilson.
Does they start sit? Have you looked at this enough to say Debo?
Oh, I have my start. My start said I'm good to go. Yeah.
Debo or Patterson?
Debo, sure. Debo for sure. I have Debo at wide receiver 10, Patterson at running back 20. So
Debo has sucked? What?
yeah, it's false. So
He's also not limited to just being a wide receiver.
Yeah, Debo also hasn't sucked. So I don't.
Well, I guess he sucked last week. He only had 2 catches.
No. Last week he had 4 catches.
5 catches. I was reading it backwards.
5 catches.
I was reading it backwards.
4 for 53 on the ground. I mean, is that the best game ever? No, but that's like 14.7 PPR points. That's not bad. So yeah, it's false information.
12 teams, Superflex trade Ayuk for Pickens and a 23 third. Team is young.
Yes.
Yeah, I would. I mean, Ayuk and Pickens I have basically dead even. So I'll take Pickens with the third. I do like Ayuk though.
Oh, DJ Moore and a 24 first and get Garrett Wilson? No.
I'm not quite at the point where I would do that.
No.
Not quite yet. I want to see more than a couple of games. I would rather have Garrett Wilson over DJ Moore, but I think adding a 24 first is too rich. For a 24 second, I would do it though and take Garrett Wilson.
12 team, 2 PPR tight end premium, Hawk and Brees, or Keenan, Travis Kelce, and Fournette.
Keenan, Kelce, Fournette.
Give me the vets right there.
Yep. Really think so? I think I'll take Hawk and Brees. Brees is worth the most of any of these things, even in 2 tight end, 2 PPR.
Let's see. Burrow, 23 first, 23 second for Herbert. Worth the price to upgrade to Herbert.
We answered this already. It was just asked differently. Burrow and the picks.
Melvin Gordon, Heinz on the bench. Should I drop one of them for Elijah Mitchell, Gallup, Pickens, Brian Robinson, Rashad White?
This is redraft.
Yeah,
I would redraft. Then you're not having Mitchell. That's going to take forever. I guess I'm fine letting Heinz. If you don't need Heinz, I'm fine letting Heinz go, who to me has no upside, for Brian Robinson, who I was going to say. Rashad White also has more upside than Heinz.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say basically I would take Rashad White. I would also take Brian Robinson too.
I'd also rather have.
I think as for.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good. Well, I was going to say as of right now, if you're making this move this week, I'll take Rashad White over Nahim Heinz. Because I'm going to wait for Brian Robinson to come back too. Like if Leonard Fournette got hurt tomorrow in practice, you'd want Rashad White. Whereas Brian Robinson still.
I do think that the redraft hype on Brian Robinson is a little much because even if you just put him in for Antonio Gibson, he's still not that good. So you have to, and that's assuming he gets all of it, which is not going to happen. It's going to be a 3-way committee. So I just think what Brian Robinson is going to do is completely nuke that backfield of being usable, actually. You won't have any in the top 30 with Brian Robinson there.
If I'm contending, should I try to sell high on Diggs to get Amon-Ra plus?
You cannot get Amon-Ra plus.
Woo. For Diggs?
You can't. You cannot get Amon-Ra plus. I don't care how many touchdowns Diggs scored. Amon-Ra is 22. You will not be able to do that. If you can do it.
I wouldn't trade him plus for Diggs. No way.
Oh, there's no way. But I would, if I could get Amon-Ra plus for Diggs, I would absolutely do it. But you can't.
Agreed.
There's no way.
I just like this question. 12 teams Superflex PPR just acquired Pitts and Burks for Godwin. I don't know who.
Chigozie Okonkwo.
Okay. And an early 23 second. I think the owner sent it by mistake. How long before it's real and he can't take it back?
Like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly. 10 minutes.
Look, it's 10:24. You sent this at 9:03. It's real now. It's definitely real now.
Yeah, I'm good with saying that. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. 12 teams Superflex rebuilding trade away Lawrence for Lance and Jameson Williams.
No. Keep Lawrence.
Ooh, are you a Lawrence fan now?
No.
Addison?
Me? Yes.
No. I am a quarterback is playing currently fan and does not have question marks around if he's starting when he comes back from that injury.
Are you selling high on CEH or holding CEH?
Selling high.
Watch the video tomorrow.
Okay, there we go. Will Malik take over for good? Tannehill is ugly.
I
don't think he's ugly.
Well,
he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's doing
Yeah.
pretty well for himself. But yeah, next up is the Raiders. So if that's going to be another loss, then we could have a big problem.
Tannehill's going to throw for like 4 touchdowns next week.
He better.
Oh my. No, Malik Willis is coming. The problem is, though, is that none of this matters because they're drafting a rookie quarterback next year. There you go.
KB says UC Olave as a buy candidate. His air yards and on targets are intriguing. KB, if you watch any of those actual targets, like they're just make believe because they were nowhere close to Olave.
Were nowhere in the vicinity.
Gross and like, is it possible that a real quarterback could be hitting him on these? Yes. But no, it's not going to happen as long as Winston is there. And if he's replaced by Dalton, it's not going to get much better. So,
yeah,
sorry.
But he is a buy candidate, though.
Yes.
Yeah, because maybe next year.
He's a buy candidate, but
he's
not
already
for
playing
the
a lot, and he got 13 targets. He still converted them into something. And that's in his second career game. He's first-round draft capital. Of course, he's a buy candidate.
1 QB traded mid 23 first and Pacheco for Garrett Wilson, Ramondre in a late second.
Love it.
What?
Good deal. It's a good deal.
Congratulations. Yeah.
These trades happen.
They do. Yeah. But congratulations. That's all I can really say.
Where are you answering questions from?
From the top.
We are answering them from the top all the way down. That's why asking them a bunch of times doesn't actually help you.
No, asking them a bunch of times actually makes it much
down.
slower. It makes it much slower. We don't get to it faster, and it just slows us down.
And we do get very far behind. I'm very sorry, Jordan, but it happens.
I'm not sorry. I think it's
because
good.
we
It's
take
good
our time.
content.
And look, a good doctor, sometimes you got to wait in the waiting room sometimes because they're taking their time with their clients, and good Dynasty advice. Sometimes we take our time with questions.
You want that treatment for your question.
What are we doing with Cole Kmet? You're dropping
benching.
Well, in Dynasty, you're not dropping him, but
yes, drop him so somebody else picks him up and wastes a roster spot.
I'll still hold on to him in Dynasty.
Benching.
Tight ends take a while, but yeah, he's going straight to the bench.
Let's see.
For this week, I have Cole Kmet at tight end 22 and start set. So.
Is CD worth 2 first and a 1 QB?
Yes.
Yeah, I
would take CD over 2 first.
Yeah, and 1 QB. Not in Superflex, but in 1 QB, I would.
Agreed.
AJ Dillon or Elijah Moore?
Still Elijah Moore.
Yep.
Yes, I think we said earlier that Bateman is a sell high.
Yeah, I'm mostly with that on Bateman being a sell high.
Let's see. Superflex, 12 team, tight end premium. What is Trey Lance worth? We talked a little bit about Trey Lance. I don't think we got very specific on what we would give up for him. Addison, what would you give up for him?
I would give up a random 23 first.
I would too.
Nothing more.
There we go.
So we agree.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin traded Brissett for Ramondre in a 23 third, but got Akers for a 23 third last week. Attaboy. Good job.
Great.
Wow.
We're doing very well here.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just traded for the most fab in a redraft league so I can unload it all on Garrett Wilson. Let's go.
I love it.
If you have the most fab in your league, look how much fab everybody else has and only bet the maximum of what that is because you might not need all 100%.
Look at next level Addison right there. It's a good doctor.
I mean, we know that Addison is elite.
Nicholas J in a redraft. How much fab? That's why we have to take time because Addison has like golden nuggets like that he's got to give.
Yeah.
In redraft, how much fab should I spend on Flacco? Mr. 300-yard, 4 touchdown in 2022, Joe Flacco, elite. But a 20-man roster. I got Brady, Mac Jones, Deshaun Watson, Jimmy G. This must be. It is Superflex.
How is redraft Superflex?
Redraft Superflex.
I wouldn't spend much on Flacco because as much as I hate it, they're going to give the job back to Zach Wilson, Mr. Cooler.
Good to see you, though, Nicholas.
I mean, we know what he did.
Talent, 12 team, Superflex tight end premium, Curtis Samuel. And 22 third for Mooney, Mitchie.
Mooney.
And 34.
With great reluctance.
Mooney.
I don't know Mooney.
Also in my video.
Is Mooney better than Samuel? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
We're going to have that conversation again later. These are Superflex, DJ Moore, James Cook, 23 first, 22nd.
We answered this one already. This is another one that was asked multiple times. Justin Jefferson.
Come on, Caesar. Let's go down. Do you prefer Mixon or Eckler more?
Neither,
Eckler.
please. But I'll take Mixon.
Mixon and
He's
Dynasty.
been getting more
Eckler
usage.
now.
I'll take Mixon either way. Mixon's been
Eckler
getting
had like 10 catches.
I understand that, but I am very concerned that the goal line work has not going to him. Not going to him, and that is a big problem. If he doesn't get the goal line work, that's just not going to work. I mean, you cannot rely on receiving touchdowns to carry you over. And he didn't have any this week. You can't rely on that. Those are not predictable. No matter how many times you catch the ball, they're really not predictable. So if he's not going to get the goal line work, we have a big problem. I'm going to go with Mixon and bet on the Cincinnati turning it around.
I love this trade from Dustin here. 12 teams, Superflex, happy VR, strong contender. Would you trade Dak, Claypool, and 24 first for Burrow and Burks? Yes.
I think I would. Would. I'd rather have Burrow over Dak and Claypool, and Burks for 24 first is much more palatable. I think I'd rather have Burks barely. It's very close.
12 teams, Superflex, how much are you paying for Keenan Allen?
Well, I'm not paying it first.
Couple seconds?
Couple of seconds even feels pricey.
No, I would do it. I'm cool with that.
I'd rather not. I'd rather get the more discount.
Curtis Samuel in a second.
That's fine. But I'd usually go for the more discount version, but he's okay.
12 teams, Superflex, DJ Moore, J.K. Dobbins, Jamal Williams, get Garrett Wilson, Pierce, James Cook.
Good question. I mean, I'd rather have Garrett Wilson over DJ Moore. Pierce and James Cook, though, for Dobbins and Jamal Williams. I think I'd still lean toward Dobbins. So overall in the trade, how much more do I prefer Garrett Wilson over DJ Moore? It's a decent amount. Is it enough? I think I'm going to lean on the Garrett Wilson side. I really don't want J.K. Dobbins. I'll lean on the Garrett Wilson side. It's very close.
I agree. This is like 51-49, but I also
very close.
I'll give the 1% to Garrett Wilson.
Pitts in a third for Kittle, first, and Cooks.
Pitts. Even now.
Agreed. This week, Tyler, Damien Pierce, or AJ Dillon?
AJ Dillon.
Dillon.
Although I have Pierce, Pierce I have at 27. That might be a little low, but Dillon is a can't bench Dillon.
Javonte Williams or Clyde Edwards-Helaire and a 23 first.
Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams for sure.
24 late first and a 23 late second for Dalvin in a PPR.
No, we're well past that point.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm taking the first.
I can't do it. Can't do it.
Early 23 first or CD.
If it's one QB, I'll take Lamb no matter what. In Superflex, how sure are you?
Yeah.
Like, how sure are you? Is this 101 guaranteed? If it's that case, I'll take the first. If it's hard to say, but in a one QB, I'll just take my chances on Lamb no matter what. Because unless it's Bijan, I'll rather Lamb over any other player in a one QB.
Yep.
Appreciate you, Order 66. Says thanks for our hard work. Yeah, we're going on 2.5 hours. It's a pretty. I can tell.
It's just 4 hours every week, though. Don't forget.
2 tight end premium, London and Gesicki for Pitts.
Pitts. Especially
Pitts. And 2 tight end premium. Yeah, that's an easy one. And you get off of Mike Gesicki.
Oh, well.
Win.
Kenneth Walker in a 23 second or Christian Kirk.
Walker's worth more than Kirk.
I agree.
Walker second.
And you get the second.
Yeah.
Ken was here.
Yeah, he's been here the whole time. No, I think that's in reference to our answer that we refused to answer who our favorite DLF partner was.
Yep.
If you catch me on the right day, I might have answered that. But I'm in a pretty good mood today.
I love that Talon is like referencing last week when everybody Wilson, Robinson, and Wilson for Robinson and Wilson. Which side?
Oh no.
I want the Wilson side.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Ken says I'm always watching. Thanks for doing this, guys. Great show.
Thank you, Ken.
That is appreciated. Also a little scary. I don't know how far that goes, Ken.
He's Santa Claus.
I hope you're not always watching. Kidding. What would Brandon Cook's value be if I wanted to trade him?
Yeah, he's hard to trade.
I would take Connor, would not take Zeke.
I don't think I'd take Connor or Zeke.
I'd take Connor over Cooks.
Connor didn't look good.
No, I agree.
Now he's hurt. He didn't look good, and now there's an ankle injury that could slow him down. So I don't know if you can trust Connor.
I'd take Pickens over all those guys.
Well, yeah, obviously. Cal seems to have disappeared.
Trey Lance has been my trade block.
I think if you're in a rebuild, I think you got to bite the bullet. You're going to take a loss, but I think you just
you can get any
take your second and your third, and just move on. I think that's what you have to do.
It says I don't have one of your first, Cal. I have 3 of them. That's true. My next 3 first
for Jalen Hurts.
But I got Jalen Hurts.
So I don't think you're regretting it too much.
In a 14-team Superflex.
Who's the real winner here?
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. I know you guys are Dynasty down bad and redraft with Dak and now Lance. Goff, Wentz, T-Law are my options.
Well, I mean, in a redraft, I assume you're looking at 1 week at a time. So if we're looking at 1 week at a time, I'll play Carson Wentz against Philly this week.
I agree.
Let's see.
I think Wentz might be your answer for long term because the Commanders' schedule is horrible. Like when I say horrible, like it's like really good for Carson Wentz.
I still think Lawrence is the one I want long term in redraft. I mean, he looked better. He looked good last week, and Lawrence's schedule coming up. I mean, the Chargers is a decent matchup. You could play him, and then the Eagles, the Texans, the Colts. Nothing too scary. The Giants, Broncos are in there, but Raiders, Chiefs. I mean, he also has the Lions, Titans, Cowboys, Jets, Texans. That stretch. How about that one near the end? Oh, through the fantasy playoffs, last 5 games of relevancy: Lions, Titans, Cowboys, Jets, Texans. That's Lawrence's last 5. So it's really nothing scary all year.
Here's the Commanders' last 5: Texans, Falcons, Giants, Niners, Browns.
It's pretty good. Although the Niners and Browns are a much tougher finish than anyone Lawrence had in there. And those are the final 2 games. But I just think that Trevor Lawrence is still a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. And I think we're going to see it.
The Browns did just give up 300 yards and 4 touchdowns to Joe Flacco.
That is very true. But I do think the Browns have a good defense.
We answered the first part of this already, Alan. This is or trade Pickens instead of Cooks. If you're going to trade somebody, trade Cooks. Don't trade.
Yeah,
Pickens.
Absolutely. Hold on to Pickens in Dynasty. I still believe he's playing the snaps. He's out there. He's good. I just think that it's going to take a little bit of time. I don't want to just throw him out. Someone like Sky Moore who can't get on the field at all, I'm far more likely to be concerned about. That's a big concern. I don't want to hear about not on the field.
And then look, this is a good question. How do I get my questions answered? And we did get very far behind tonight. There's a lot of people in the chat, and we appreciate everybody who is asking questions. If for some reason we did not get to them, please reach out to us. Twitter is a good place. The Discord chat, I think, is also a really good place.
The DLF forum is not bad as well.
Yeah, I think
those
are
a premium member. The Ask DLF team forum.
It's free.
No, the Ask DLF team one is
the
premium part of that.
But the forum itself
is free. Yeah, it's a good community space. And yeah, obviously the super chat always we skip to those. So
yep. And literally Twitter. I mean, Tyler answers more questions than I think anybody on Twitter.
That's true. So. Yeah, Twitter bans me.
Yeah, they think you're a robot.
They do.
Wilson, 12 team, 1 QB, non-PPR. Who would you start this week?
I assume that's Javonte.
And I would just start Javonte.
It's Javonte.
Okay.
I have Javonte at 14 and Clyde at 21 this week.
Realistic trade target for a contender with Pitts. Don't trade Pitts.
There isn't one. You just have to take your lumps.
Yeah,
you have to take your lumps.
Mark Andrews.
Definitely not right now, right? I mean, that's just...
No, not now. You have to take your lumps with Pitts. That's what I would say.
Are you worried about Justin Herbert's ribs?
No. I think he's either going to miss 1 game or 0.
Yep.
And I would lean towards 0.
Did you see the throw he had on 4th down? Come on.
Yeah.
Dude,
he's so good. He's so good.
Rebuilding team, 12 teams, Superflex, Happy PR, trade Pittman for Bateman and a mid-early second. No.
Pittman there.
Keep Pittman
there.
There's what you do with your seconds.
Is Goff better start this week instead of Brady?
I have Brady outside my top 12, but I have him at 14, Goff at 16. So I'll still go with Brady.
Who's Brady this week?
Goff might be better. If Julio and Godwin both don't play,
Evans is
I'm
suspended.
playing Jared Goff. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he's missing Evans, Julio, and Godwin, I'm playing Jared Goff.
Yeah, I guess so. But I still don't want to do that.
Tampa Bay has the Packers.
The Packers are
home.
The Packers are like a shaky matchup for a quarterback, though, because the Packers are gashed on the ground and are actually decent through the air.
Which is how Tampa Bay's been like
that's true
maintaining its effectiveness by just giving it to Fournette and not having Brady win.
I think though I would go back to Brady
Did you know that the Lions? There are only 2 teams right now in the NFL who are averaging more than 35 points per game, and it's the Bills and the Lions.
Craziness.
What percentage of the Lions' points are coming in the second half is what I want to know.
Oh, a lot, I would say.
Probably a lot. 20 at least.
10-team PPR start 8 single QB. Send Kyler, Najee, Pittman, Jameson Williams. Receive Mahomes, Barkley, Debo, Tony.
It's a lot of
Holy
players.
crap.
All right, I'd rather have Mahomes. Oh, the
Single
single QB. Okay, so single QB. I will take the Kyler side. Yeah,
I agree.
Take that side.
You prefer Najee or Barkley?
Najee.
Dynasty Najee.
Less wear and tear.
Yeah. Yep, I agree with you guys on that side. Let's see. Offseason traded Lamar, Judy for Chase, Pitts, Lance. Then traded Lance for Burrow.
Lance for Burrow is looking pretty good.
Worked out well. So
Lamar
far.
and Judy for Chase, Pitts, and Lance. I feel like that's also looking really good.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know how that ever happened. Yeah, great job.
Love it.
No one's talking about Mooney. I feel like literally everybody's talking about Mooney.
I agree with you. Literally everyone's talking about Mooney.
What do we do with him? Hold or sell?
Boy. If he doesn't deliver against Houston, I have Darnell Mooney this week at wide receiver 48. I don't care that it's against Houston. I'm not playing him.
No, you can't play him. He's a hold. In redraft, I'm not even. I can't drop him in redraft. I'm still giving him another.
No, this is it for me and Darnell Mooney in redraft. I've said for pretty much everyone, this is it. He's playing Houston. This is their opportunity to potentially have a winning game script, not in the rain. If he doesn't deliver this week in redraft, you can cut it. This is it. This is his last chance. Typically in redraft, I give players like that who are drafted, not obviously studs you'll never cut, but players who are drafted with decent capital, I usually give them 1 week is 1 week, but I give them 2 weeks before I start dropping them down the rankings, which I've now done. He's now at 48. And then third bad week, it's out the door. So 2 weeks, drop the rankings. Now he's dropped the rankings. Another failure means he's out the door. Those mid-range redraft assets.
Do you think Garrett Wilson should start a week from now on? Like in your
100%.
fantasy lineup?
Your wide receiver core has to be really freaking good.
I have Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
This week for now, I have Garrett Wilson at wide receiver 25. Which means that unless you have a very stacked team, although you could have drafted him late, so you could have a stacked team with him. Unless you have a very stacked team, I'm not benching him. I have him at 25, and that honestly feels too low.
It'd have to be like you got him as your wide receiver 4, and your wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 are Chase, Waddle, and Amon-Ra. And it's like,
right. That's true. You could have Amon-Ra as your 3 and
as your
somehow,
3 in redraft, and then your Wilson could be your 4. That's where you could be at right now.
Yeah, if you went 0 RB.
Part of this question though.
I mean, I have him at wide receiver 25. I have Elijah Moore at wide receiver 30. So I have Wilson ahead.
Chad Booth wants to know if it's crazy to start Goff or Jimmy G over Russell Wilson.
I have Russell Wilson at quarterback 11. This is similar to Darnell Mooney in that there are quarterbacks you could have that I would play over Russell Wilson at this point. I've dropped him down the rankings, but this is it. If he doesn't deliver, then we're going to have, even though it's a bad matchup against San Francisco, is up there with the worst matchups. I mean, they've really actually been good on defense. If he doesn't deliver this week, that's it.
But they've only played Justin Fields in his 17 pass attempts and then Geno Smith so far. So.
I hear you. I mean, San Francisco does have a good defense, though. I don't think I need to see their games. I didn't look at what their statistics were against the quarterback position. I just know that San Francisco has a good defense. So if Russell Wilson does not deliver at home this week, that's it. He won't be in my lineup again.
One more week, Chad.
Detroit has the Vikings, but it is not on Monday night, so they can't rely.
I'm still going with Wilson over these two, but
that might be good for Goff. Maybe it gets into a shootout because Cousins is Cousins again, and he's like, he finds Justin Jefferson a few times.
There probably is not a waiver wire quarterback. There's probably not a waiver wire quarterback that I'd play over Russell Wilson, unfortunately.
Bijan Robinson or Cooper Kupp?
Bijan.
Hey, you mentioned Debbie and Bruce shows up. Look at that.
Yeah.
How about that?
Man, like a Pokemon.
Tin team. It looks like he's got an avatar that might be I don't even know what a
An NFT,
Pokemon is,
I
but
think.
could that be a Pokemon? I don't know.
It's not a Pokemon.
12 team. Sorry, I just offended so many people. 12 team.
I think you did.
Dynasty Superflex. Would you trade McCaffrey and Claypool for Chubb, Pittman, and a 23 first?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
McCaffrey and Pittman carry similar value at this stage. And Chubb way over Claypool, 23 first.
I was going to say, we debated McCaffrey for a 23 first, so Pittman and Chubb over Claypool is so easy. This is
very easily, yeah.
Yes.
Traded McLaurin and Flyer move for Pitts.
That's how you add to Fryer
Baller.
to get Pitts. So,
Yes.
Yeah, baller. I love it.
Please do this. Drake London or Garrett Wilson?
London.
I'm going to lean Drake London because he is just has a better, he had a very good target share. He was really dominant, even though Garrett Wilson scored more. I like Drake London's usage, and he's done it over 2 weeks. So lean that way. It is very close.
Blake wants to know who to drop for Garrett Wilson. Ayuk, Juju, Etienne, Stevenson, and Ingram.
No,
Ingram.
it's Ingram.
Ingram. I don't think we can start Ingram, even with Kamara out.
I don't care if you have Kamara. Ingram is
It's
just
tough
not
this
good.
week, though. I mean, if Kamara's out, it depends on your lineup. I mean, if you're in a situation where you're going to have to put Ingram in, potentially. But I don't think you have a choice.
Man, I don't know.
I mean, I'm going to add Wilson either way. No matter who.
The Panthers who just shut down Saquon Barkley. I'm not sure Ingram is going to be too much of a challenge for them. But
yeah, I don't think Ingram would rank in my top. This week I noticed there's like exactly 27 running backs I really like, and then it falls, or I don't really like. There's 27 running backs I feel are playable, and 28 goes off like a 5-story cliff. So I'd probably rank Ingram right at 28, which is still not that great.
how would you prioritize this waiver wire? Noah Brown, who Peter Howard picked up and played in our podcast league.
It's a baller move. It's a baller move to play him.
Noah Brown, Cole Beasley, Greg Dortch, Ashton Doolin, or Jordan Mason.
Okay, so Ashton Doolin is just a backup who played because Pittman and Alec Pierce did not play. So Ashton Doolin, I don't even rank in Dynasty. So he's last. Cole Beasley, I just feel like there's no Dynasty value. Of these, the other three are the valuable ones. So I don't know if people saw, but Tyrion Davis-Price is going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. So Marlon Mack was signed. I don't know what that means. Jeff Wilson's the starter. I don't know if it's going to be Jordan Mason or Marlon Mack. They had to sign another running back because they only had Wilson and Mason. So they had to sign Mack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who is number 2 between Mason and Mack.
Probably Mason.
I think it's Mason, but it could be Mack. So, but just on the off chance that it's Mason, Mason is first on the list.
Mason is 100% first.
Then Dortch.
Yep.
For me,
and then Noah Brown.
I think Dortch could have a real role potentially somehow. Noah Brown, I think, is just a replacement for Michael Gallup, who they just cut Dennis Houston today. I think that means Michael Gallup could be on course for week 3. I think he could be on course to play. Or if it's not week 3, it's very soon.
I have zero hope for Jordan Mason.
Well, at this point,
zero.
There's no one left. Everyone is going down one by one. So
this is like that 1 week last year where Trey Sermon had to start, and he was great because San Francisco 49ers running back. So
it's just a running back is going to be the one that's going to have flip value. You don't, at this point, Elijah Mitchell and Tyrion Davis-Price are both minimum 4 weeks away from coming back. So you have a long time. They're not coming back anytime. And that's best case. I think it's more like 6 weeks for Davis-Price.
Right. We're probably looking at
8
November.
more for Elijah Mitchell. They're nowhere near coming back. So Jordan Mason has to be the move. It's
Jordan Mason.
You never know.
Mason, Dortch, Noah Brown.
Yeah. Dortch has been better than Noah Brown, I think.
Jack of Spades. I have 6 of 12 for the first, and of course they get the 101, 201. Should I look to trade some of these or just make a run? Just get the rookies. These are going to be
hang
great.
On to them. The sell opportunity is later during the draft. Yeah.
Definitely don't do anything with that right now.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler, start 3. Hollywood Brown, Judy, Metcalf, Robinson. Yeah, Allen Robinson.
Right.
Waddle shouldn't be in this question.
Yeah, Waddle shouldn't be in a question
for sure.
about start sit. I have him at 12. which is still a little bit low. It's Buffalo, so I have him at 12. And then of the rest of these, I have next on my list is actually Hollywood Brown, who I have at 17. Judy, I don't think is going to play, and if he does, I'm scared with the ribs. So he's not. Pickens is miles down. So then of the rest of them, I'm going to go with London as my next choice. And I have London at 20. Wide receiver 20 against Seattle. It's a great matchup. He's had usage both of the first 2 weeks. I don't see any reason to rank him lower. So I have him at 20.
That's my 3.
Where do you value J.K. Dobbins?
Please get him off my team. I don't. I mean, look, he said he would be healthy for week 1. He was not. He lied. So I don't want that on my team. He said he would be healthy. He didn't deliver. So I don't want that anymore. I don't want him anymore.
I'll take any.
He had plenty of time. He had plenty of time to recover. He should have been ready for week 1. He was not ready. He looked like garbage in those drills that we saw, those videos. It didn't look so good. So yeah, I don't want him. If I can get from Dobbins to Etienne, who's healthy and just struggling, I'll take the guy who's actually participating in something over the one who can't seem to participate in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Noah Brown or Marvin Jones?
In redraft? I'll take Marvin Jones because Michael Gallup, I think Michael Gallup is playing this week. Right. And on top of that, the usage on the Jaguars wide receivers, it's so unimportant to most people, but it did flip from week 1 to week 2. In week 1, Zay Jones was the 2 and Marvin Jones was the 3. This week that changed. Marvin Jones was the 2, played in 2 wide receiver sets, and Zay Jones was the 3. So it did change in Marvin Jones's favor. I don't think that means Marvin Jones is playable, but I will lean Marvin Jones here. Because if Christian Kirk ever went down, I think you could play Marvin Jones.
Noah Brown had 5 targets this week. I don't think he's...
Yeah, and also, like, with Michael Gallup coming back, I do think Michael Gallup plays this week. I think they cut Dennis Houston because Michael Gallup is going to be on the roster. That's their plan.
Damien Pierce or Chris Olave?
I'll take Pierce.
I think
running back.
I'll lean Pierce, but really don't want to. I think Olave has a lot of value.
Dobbins in the first for Javonte?
Javonte.
Am I crazy to consider Khalil Herbert, Devin Duvernay, or Irv Smith over Etienne for week 3?
Yes.
Yeah, you're crazy to consider Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert didn't get like any run, even though he was running well.
Devin Duvernay disappeared.
Devin Duvernay disappeared, and he's not going to have a kickoff return for a touchdown every week. And he's playing New England, which is not.
I would still start Nahim Heinz. I mean, Travis Etienne, my bad.
I think I'm going to go with Irv Smith, actually, in tight end premium. I'm going to go Irv Smith over Etienne.
Did I miss the sell time on Equiminius St. Brown?
Oh, there never was one.
Like, oh boy.
Unless maybe you could sell him to someone who thinks he's Amon-Ra.
If you mean Amon-Ra.
Do you want St. Brown for a first? Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. How about that one? I like that plan. Yeah.
Thinking of offering Aaron Jones for Pitts?
In redraft, I'd stick with Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Obviously, in Dynasty, it's Pitts.
Well, he's saying for both, of course. He said Aaron Jones for Najee and Pitts.
And redraft, I'd take Najee and Pitts then.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Najee over Aaron Jones rest of season.
For both. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I'd rather have Najee and Pitts even now in redraft rest of season.
The objective, retooling 1 PPR, 30 rosters. Should I drop Chenault? I'm going to stop right there. Yes.
Yeah, you can drop Chenault.
Definitely.
Although I don't
Especially
know what McKinnon does. McKinnon doesn't really do anything for me either.
No, but I would rather have the running back.
24 late first, 23 late second, and 23 late third for Drake London in my PPR Dynasty.
I mean, if it's 1 QB, that's not unreasonable. If it's Superflex, how do you know 24 first is late?
Right.
It's fine. It's fine. I don't tend to do things like this, though. It's risky. I don't know how you know it's 24 first is late.
I'll take London.
2 hours and 50 minutes later, we are done. Thank you guys. Everybody in chat, everybody watching, we appreciate you. Make sure you tune in all week to everything that we have going on. Make sure you tune in for a great Clyde Edwards-Helaire video tomorrow where he talks about Clyde Edwards-Helaire outscoring Jonathan Taylor and finally paying off. That's not what it is, but you should watch just to hate watch it, just in case. And then Tyler, what you got going on? I know obviously start sit show. What else?
Yeah, mostly just the Start Sit show every Sunday morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I'll be here for Start Sit. It's like 30 to 45 minutes. I try to get to all of them, but if I don't, I don't. And yeah, it's here, my channel. And yeah, no, just follow me on Twitter. Everything I do goes through my Twitter. So if you follow me on there, which is right there, you won't miss anything.
Go join the Discord. Jump in the fun. You guys are great.
Yeah, I would